Good evening everybody. I hope you're doing well this fine Sunday evening. Let me head on over to the lovely scene of Stormwind tonight. Good evening one and all. I hope you had a lovely weekend so far. Good evening Pagors, Trivial Gnome, Det, Silent Mouse, Bullseye, Stopcraft, Metcat, Crozak, 3DM, Lady Daisy. Got lots of people. Both this Scape Wow, Sue Bogdan, and Kick Virus, Dutchman's, Kedri, the Anku, Epiphetes, Ignis is here. Good evening to you, Creatives, and Shady Stev, and Jack's here as well. Am I still playing Classic? I did see your message just before I went live, Ignis. I don't play it at the moment, but it sounds an interesting idea you've got anyway. You could maybe speak to Jack. Jack could possibly help out with that as well. I certainly don't have a level 60 character though. That's the slight fault. I'm somewhere about 35, I believe. Wouldn't call it lovely, but well, I guess it's still a weekend. Oh, sorry to hear that, Mr. Honkit, but good to have you here. Wow, Cody, good evening to you. Andy, good evening to you as well. And good evening, Gwilyn, and Nuafin. Lots of people in. Lots of things to do tonight, so obviously the whole gold making bits and pieces and things like that. The Wowhead blog should be going live any moment, hopefully. Mushy tells me that I need to list my auctions on, so I'll probably start with that to start with, and then see what we get, because I've got basically a whole load of stuff. Let's move this down here, I think. That's a bit easier. I've got a whole load of stuff that has expired, so I'll deal with that first, especially my enchants is the main thing here. So let's just take these off whilst it's going through. Sport Cars, thank you very much. Pink Hat Boys and Girls for 3 months, fantastic. Congratulations, thank you ever so much. It's cold today, Mushy, yes. So I've still got shorts on and my Yoda slippers, but it's really cold at the moment. So Swarcast, thank you for your sub, and also Daily Show for your Prime as well. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you very much. Your support is, as always, very much appreciated. Lots of emotes for you both. Thank you very much indeed. Uncanny Markets have crashed on your server. Thank God for the rep buff. You collected 10 rep boxes around 40k gold. That's nice. A decent chunk of gold just from doing that as well. Very nice. Okay, no problem, Ignis. I'll maybe catch up with you afterwards and we can sort something out. Syrup Waffy, good evening to you. I hope you're doing well. I think I've filled up my bags here. Yes, we've got a lot of stuff here that we need to post on. So I guess let's do this the old-fashioned way, where we run back and forth between the auction house. I haven't done this for a while on Samadan. So let's just go through and start posting some of this lot on. Let's select all my groups and we'll get that going. And then we can check on the Wellhead blog after this. Just doing the 7th Legion a lot. Every world quest is like 150 to 400 rep. That's a decent amount. And then 2000 is reached very fast. That's an interesting idea. I haven't really done much in the way of reputation. It hasn't, to be honest, it hasn't appealed to me as much as the actual levelling has. I'm having an absolute blast with levelling at the moment. Really enjoying it. But I understand there's gold to be made, especially if you do it that way. Oh, Bacon, thank you very much with the raid. That's very kind of you. How was your stream? Hope you're doing well. Darkwing, I saw your message briefly. Thank you, Darkwing. That's very kind of you. And how are you, Bacon Bits? Good to see you here. I missed your message there, Ignis. If you want to check them, it's about a Gold Farm Classic. Make a video about. Yes, thank you, Ignis. I'll have a proper read of that later. I'll probably get back to you tomorrow though. What else we got? Smeesus and Robin, Scobble, everyone here. If I do miss you, welcome everyone from Bacon Stream. I hope you're all doing well this fine Sunday. We're just relisting my auctions on at the moment, and then we'll be going over and talking about the Wowhead blog once it goes live. But I've got a whole load of stuff I need to list up here. Movie, good evening to you. And Sensors, good evening to you as well. Hope you're doing well. What did I miss here on a bigger one? Been restarting gold making the past few days. Been dropping 100k at a time on mats whenever you prop prosperity and getting about 30 to 40% profit margins from it. Very decent. Gave inscription a try as well. Recouped 10k from the 40k you dropped. and still have 80k in potential sales from him. Don't forget to make your 6 million target by Shadowlands though. Keep going, Sportcast. You never know what kind of markets will open up and what other ones will start being more and more lucrative. Thank you, Jack. Yes, don't forget, Jack's started up a community for everyone, EU and Alliance. It's a thriving community now. Lazy Daisy, I don't think I said hello to you when you came in earlier. Good evening to you. Enchanting market on your server has crashed. Luckily didn't rely on only that market, yes. Oh, yes, it was Kuhn's wedding. How was it? Unfortunately, I couldn't join. I don't have a NA account. I did see that he posted on Twitter about it. I posted him congratulations, but that was... How was it, Metcat? I bet that was fun. Let me go post... Did I post everything on? I think I did. Yeah, let's need to get rid of this tide spray as well and deal with that as well. Oh, did you make a trial account? Oh, right. Reset 1 week ago. What's an alright market to get into? It depends on what you find fun, first and foremost. Bank. That's here, aren't you? Right. /TSM put tide. /TSM put null. Did that work? I typed it wrong. /TSM put NYL. There we go. Just empties my bags out a little bit quicker. There we go, 104 space now. Satanic Bulls, good evening to you. I hope I'm doing good this weekend. You play on Device Brotherhood EU, semi-high-pop. Is it a decent idea to try and reset items like Star Moss, Riverbud, etc.? It's a good idea if you've got a good handle on the market prices, certainly. See if you can push them up a little bit higher. Let's take these expires. Whilst this is going through, I'll just double check, see if the Wowhead Blog's gone live whilst I've been talking to all you lovely people, just in case. Is that it? Oh, right, that was the one about Super Squirt. Okay, that's not me, but that's what I will be talking about in the economy wrap-up in a moment. Haven't got that at the moment. And whilst I was looking at that screen, I missed something popping up there. Smeesus 2 gifting subs to Alex Helson. Hold on, there's a few of these here. That was a few there. That's fantastic. Species 2 is gifting 1, 2, 3, 4. It hasn't said how many, but 5 subs. Thank you very much. And Elaine, thank you very much for the host as well, and kicking off the hype train. That's everything all going off at once. Good evening, Builds as well, and Alex Helstone. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you, Smees. That's very, very kind of you. Really do appreciate all those gifted subs. If you are one of those lucky people who have got a sub, please do throw some emotes in chat to say thank you. That's absolutely amazing. Dim Powerblade. I got 3 alts that you craft Hexweed bags and others which give sumptuous fur by Garrison. Do you stock your bags and sell later during pre-patch or sell now? I would try and sell them now. Try and keep the price high as much as you can. You never know what's going to be around the corner. Alright, let me just post these on whilst I'm running through this. Megan, good evening to you. With all the tokens being at 169 at the moment, should you be waiting buying your tokens for them to drop more, or just buy them each as you make enough for one at a time? Saving for 8 tokens to get a second account. I would say buy them, like you said, one at a time as you get the gold. John, thank you for the cheer as well, because that way it will just spread it out a little bit. You don't know whether the tokens might go up, and you might have missed it. You can get a second account for a lot less. Is that a lot less? But I was thinking, best idea really, anything like that, is to spread it out. I mean, I did it myself, and I just bought 6 tokens recently, and I spread it out over a few months as it gradually went further down. I'll let that lot run through, and then we'll have a look. Natty, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Let me just double check. Oh, that's the wrong window. That's not the one I wanted up. I wanted this one up. There we go. And then I can check on things here. and do... Where is it? There it is, just so I can check it there. Okay, nothing there at the moment. Okay, we'll leave that for the moment. There we go. You got a free account. You bought for €25 a Legion upgrade. That sounds interesting. And what did you get with that? Did you get some extra game time with it as well? Because that would be interesting. And then we just post all this uncanny gear on. Let that all run through. Everything on. The main thing we're after here is really getting the enchants on. We're down to 298,000 gold, but I've got a feeling we've got a really good mailbox this week. So I'll have a look at that a little bit later once I've cleared everything out. We're just running through all these expires at the moment. Did I click the wrong one there? Let me just change that a second. Click expires again, just in case I got that wrong. Does Uncanny sell? I do have some sales of it, certainly. Once we have a look at my mailbox in a moment, we'll be able to see all the other bits and pieces I've sold so far. But I am, yep, there we go. Here's some Uncanny Combatant Satin Cloak, Boots and Mittens. Are part of those. I've got a red linen robe I need to deal with there. That's all fine. Yes, a very nice mailbox at the moment. Okay, so let's go post this lot on first. And then I'll run through what we've sold this week, which has been quite a busy week this week. So I'll go and post all this lot on. So many people coming back to the game. It's nice to see them leveling and buying your stuff. Yeah, definitely. Which realm do I play on? I play on Shadow Song on EU. You're getting 2 tokens every day with Uncanny. Yeah, that's a decent amount of sales, certainly. It does depend on servers, certainly. It does make a bit of a difference. Right, let's post all of this lot on, and then at least I've got the enchants I do have on. I'll probably need to make a whole load, knowing me, given everything that I've put on. Various things at various prices. Whilst I'm also here, whilst I also remember, just want to check the tide spray price at the moment. I'm really going to need to buy some more, because now that I have to feed Expulsum to several professions, I need to get more tide spray linen. At the moment it's at 550. If I can get it for 450, I would prefer that, so I might leave that for the moment. So just buy a BFA account for 15 instead, and game time. Your auction house is embarrassing faster than mine. How low pop is my realm? It is. Oh, we just sold a forced multiplier after just putting them on. I'll put this chat up there so we can see that. See, it's about medium pop. Shadow Song is. I've experienced the speed of Draenor, so I can sympathise, certainly. Crazy. Oh, I missed lots of stuff coming in. So if I do miss anything on chat, I do apologise. Please do shout out again if I have missed something. What else did I miss? Totems given to you. Speaking of tide spray, what's the vendor shuffle value in BFA? I always get it wrong. It's either 2.4 or 1.8 gold. I think it's 2.4, but I may be wrong on that. I stand to be corrected if anyone else knows differently. Got a few. Oh yes, got Notorious gear as well. I was going to deal with lots of things to sort out here. So we've got the mailbox to start with. I don't know if I remember, but you started your gold journey last Sunday, started with 380k, and you're at 890k a week later. Tried raw gold farming, but girlfriend didn't enjoy all the hours you're spending on it. You found Inscription, super fun. I've been doing that for now, and it's been making some big moolah. Oh, fantastic. I'm glad that's worked out for you, and thank you all for completing the hype train as well. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you all. We got a hype cherry this time. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you for your continued support. It's absolutely brilliant. Right, there we go. And Sabal too, thank you also for the follow. That's absolutely amazing. So let's have a look. Drizzling Rose, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. We're just running through our mailbox. So we've got I got 162 in the mail for Samadan for this week. So I've been really busy. I had a really good reset day on Wednesday, and I sold loads of enchants. And so we've also got some good things here. I've sold a tasty cupcake for Children's Week. I've sold some Mage Royal, which also goes into the into the words, into the delicious chocolate cake. I've sold one here. We've got one here for 4,700, and I believe I've got some more sales down here. Here we go, another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 delicious chocolate cakes here at 4,700 each. A little bit of other food, some netherweave bags, silkweave satchels. I've sold another imbued silkweave bags. These seem to be just constantly selling at a reasonable price. There was that one time I sold it for 200,000, which just seems amazingly expensive, so I've changed it to a more ludicrous 13,000. In the meantime, you can hear all my sales going off in the background. Well, Tome of Illusions Pandaria, Tome of Illusions Outland, Baked Potato, Biltong, and McDowell's Big Mac, all kicking off there at the moment. That's a whole load of stuff. Have some juicy card stats. This week you hit a major milestone right up a summit after you checked the evening auctions. Okay, excellent. Dressing roast, looking forward to that one. Don't know if people are aware of this, but if you're planning on dropping auctions and popping off, it's worth to stay like 5 minutes and post them in timed increments, like 25% the quantity of what you'd be posting initially. Been fishing a lot for sales rather than popping 100% of your items immediately. That's an interesting idea, actually. Just spread it out, because the new auction house system does favour those who post little and often, so that's definitely a good idea, certainly. You've had decent sales of Uncanny as well. I'm just weary at times how it's listed and how people search for it. Yeah, it can vary quite a lot, certainly. So that's the first mailbox. First 100 is actually 200,000 gold in that first lot of mail, so that's incredible. So it's been a really good week, and there goes Tome of Illusions Northrend. So let's wait for that to refresh, and then I'll open all of these. Abyssal Fried Rissoles just gone as well. So I'll try and take these before the refresh. So that was 200, and I should have 62 in the other one. If I can get that before it refreshes, that should hopefully just give me the second lot. If I can see that come through. Oh, looks like that carried on. So I think the second one may be about 120,000, maybe a little bit less. It's hard to tell at this stage. So we've got absolutely loads. We had just shy of 300,000 in liquid gold. So let's have a look at what else we've got here, mainly enchants and things like that. So let's open up all of those. It's been a very nice week indeed. So let's open up all of that. Mainly doing resets on enchanting over most of this, looking at all of this. Some more delicious chocolate cake there, netherweave bags. Oh, those are from earlier. That was the major oil there, so that's not a repeat. So that should take me up to grand total is, so we've got 575,000. So we're looking at 275,000 for the week for Samadan. So that's enchanting, tailoring and cooking. And that's me capitalising on the reset day on Wednesday and able to keep all my enchants frequently posted on. And then I also had a few delicious chocolate cakes and a few other bits and pieces. So that's a very good week for me. I've not had a good week like that for a long while. I have got some cake here. Look at that. The delicious chocolate cake now has dropped to 250 gold. So where it was 4,700, or rather 5,000, it's completely been undercut here. So we'll see if we can do something about that. So we'll have a look. And before I do that though, just want to do a quick check on Wowhead, just in case it's gone live, since I've been opening all of that one. There we go. Nothing as of yet. That's fine. There we go. If anyone does spot it going live, please do let me know. I'll carry on with my things whilst we're here. Adriana, good evening to you. If I do miss anyone, the chat's going through super fast tonight, so if I do miss you, I do apologise. Please do shout out again, and hopefully I'll catch your messages. So that's all the sales we've had since we started relisting everything on. That's absolutely amazing. So it's a very, very busy night tonight. So that's a lot of food. McDowell's Big Mac, Baked Potato, Biltong, Forced Multiplier and 3 Illusions. The Outland one being particularly good there. That's a good 1,200 profit on that one. So that's a decent one. First day of Children's Week, had a good start on Velvet Cupcakes, sold 25 for 100 each, down to 10 gold now though. I think they do tank quite quickly. That is a problem, certainly. Has it made the auction house simpler? It has. The new auction house, it does take some of the elements away, like pretty stacking, but overall it has basically meant more people using the auction house, both selling and buying. So I think that increased activity just really does help the economy thrive. So overall, I think that's it's been a good thing, certainly. Your cakes are selling for $2.99. Someone posted 12 at $2.50, so you bought them up, and they've all mostly sold. That's what I'm about to look at now, because posting these on for $2.50 is quite a lot lower than I'm used to. So shopping wise, let's have a look at delicious chocolate cake. We have it's No Money's got 31 on for 250. That's interesting. At 6% of price. So I don't think I sell that many at all, given any. Let me fix that. No problems, the real Ginny. I reckon someone must have undercut you and basically put a whole load, and then you put a whole load on there, because the 4,999 is definitely more. Although there's other people there as well, so it's not just you, certainly. You sold about 20 last night. Oh, that's really good. I wasn't on last night, monitoring them, so that's probably a part of it. You've got 250 set as your min. Yeah, I've got 500. I've done a manual price for mine here, so I've got minimum 500, normal 4,000, and then maximum is 8,000 as a manual price. Definitely, but that is a lot there, certainly. Let me have a look. Just keep that going for the moment. You don't want to do herbalism because it's honestly just not that good gold for the time span, especially since you're competing with botters and multi-botters. And I guess it's a question about your time versus your money, certainly. It's finding something you enjoy more than anything else. Oh, I missed Blazing Nemesis. You came in there as well. Good evening. I'm doing very well. Thank you very much, Blazing Nemesis. Hope you're doing well as well. Would I happen to have any tips for breaking through the first 200k? Confident you can hit you 5 million gold, but you're struggling to get started. Classic G, I would suggest start off with things like the emissaries that are worth gold. That's always a good 2,000. If you've got your reputation and your paragons up high, you could always run through some world quests and do those with the rep bonus at the moment. People are making some decent gold there at the moment. So that would be a good way to start. Or you do the raw gold farms as well, if you're into that side of things as well. Netherwing, good evening to you. Just want to say hi. Can't stay. Hope you can catch the end of my stream. Hope you have a good one. Well, thank you very much for stopping by. Netherwing's very kind of you. Right, so let's have a look here. We've got still a few on here at 250, 28 at 250. Now, in my past experience, I haven't sold that many, but I've got a feeling 28 would be... How many have I got on me at the moment? I've got 6 on me at the moment. So let's go with... if I were to buy that out, let's have a look at this delicious chocolate cake. I'm only using this because it's easy just to see the full amount. If I went to click on it and buy them out, oh, you have to do them individually. That would be a bit of a shame, actually. Let's have a look at that through TSM then instead. Let's go through. I've got a few bits and pieces I need to sort out here. So if I were to buy these out at that, then that leaves me with... Is that just the one? It is. Now this is the same as bags. Trying to buy out delicious chocolate cake is you're going to have to do them one by one, which makes it really difficult to buy them out and reset the market on these. Yeah. So 27 times 250. Let's just have a quick look at that. 28 times 250 would cost me 7,000 gold. on that. So that's essentially 2 of my sales at the reset price. Yeah. Scroll wheel macro with no confirmation. Let's try. We've got post here, so let's try that. Rescan. Let's see if this works. There we go. Let's buy that. There we go. And then it disappears, and then we have to rescan, and then we'll do another one there, and then it's gone. I think I will go for it. They've gone already, so I'm going to buy them out as they are. It's just buying them out easily doesn't make it very easy, so we'll go with that. Got one, rescan. Seller has them gone. No, I'm sure it's probably not, but there we go. This is not the most effective way of doing things. It's the same with bags, but there we go. We'll take these all out. We'll buy the last one. There we go. Even with the standard interface, you get the confirm box popping up. It's the same with bags. It does make it quite a bit difficult. So there we go. So we would then go and post on our delicious chocolate cake. I'll use my actual posting operation here instead. Run post scan. Let's have a look. This is chocolate cake there. 4,000 is my normal price. I probably want to pop that up to 5,000 really. So I'll change that, and then I'll edit that just quickly here and change that to 5,000 there. This should really be the same. So I'll run through this. 5,000 there and post them on. There we go. All of those on individually. That should work a little bit better. And then we'll do a shopping scan for it now. If I move on over here and over here. I'll have to get the ones I got from the mail, and then I can search for it easily that way. Vinta Doom, sorry. Good evening to you. I hope you're doing well. There's our purchases. We got a few of them. We didn't have to buy them all out. Thankfully, others were bought at the same time, so that's pretty good. Yeah, you bought you bought yours from the standard interface, and it seemed a bit easier. Yeah, I think it is compared to TSM. That and bags is a difficult thing at the moment. So let's just have a look. Delish. That's probably too much stuff, but let's have a look. See if the delicious chocolate cake. Oh, I've got delicate coming in here as well. So I probably need to do a more specific search. There it is. Go through there. There we go. So at 5,000, that's a bit better there. So we can post on here. Let's go with 12 hours. Maximum amount is 7. And we can post on there. There we go. And rescan. There we are. So we've got those on. We may or may not get any sales. To be honest, I'm really happy with the sales that I've got already. So no problem, Adriana. Good to have you here. Oh, I'm actually getting a bit hot now, so excuse me one moment. I have to go back to t-shirt mode now. There we go. Now that the house has warmed up a little bit better. It was really cold this morning. I was up super duper early, painting the fence of all things at 6 in the morning. I won't go that far, Jack. What else did I miss? I'll quickly scroll up. Yeah, that was mainly the bits and pieces, yeah. 5,335 from the Paragon record. That is pretty decent, definitely. Yes, I'll also get banned though, Jack, so that's not something a route I would rather go, certainly. So let's have a look. You bought your Longboy this morning and now begins to rebuild from gold. Oh, fantastic, Raperia. That's fantastic news. Congratulations. That's absolutely amazing. Let's see lots of Longboys in the chat. That's absolutely brilliant. Congratulations. Just use my beard. It's not quite that bushy, my beard. That's absolutely brilliant. Haven't got anything left in the mail now, so we're all done there. We probably need to go and restock on a lot of my auctions here. There's a load of stuff we need to maybe do here, but what I'll do is I will probably check on Awakening and my Alchemy, because that's not been doing so greatly this week. So that was a really good mailbox, about 275,000. That helps with my tokens this week. So let's move on over to our next character, Awakening, our Alchemist, and see if we can do something about that, because the prices have been steadily going downwards and my profit margins on a lot of them were below my minimum price, so it's been quite difficult to make any decent amount of money. Plus I haven't had a Silas proc all week, so that's also quite difficult. 70 to 80 with inscription on a day for the last week. I have restocking and got a backlog of materials, wondering if it's too ambitious to move on to another market. Try a different profession on top. It's always a good idea to diversify, just in case, but it's also a good idea, if something's working out well, is to just double down on that and make the most of it whilst it lasts. It feels stupid that you have to get a proc to make Alchemy profitable, yes, and even these days it's not always a profit. Oh, we do have some sales, that's good. So I managed to get some Greater Flask of the current sales in there, so that's heartening at least. Yeah, the contracts, the Highborn Compendiums, the War Scrolls. If you're into glyphs and you've got all the older recipes, those are supposed to be quite good as well. So we're looking at 89,000 in here. We've got Dressing Rose's cards stats. Some of you started keeping track of your card production and payout. You opened 302,000 cards, and average price of cards, they bought them for more than 1 gold 10. They rarely went below 80 silver. That made a total of 1.4 million gold. So that's $1 million gold in profit in half a year. That's not bad at all when you've got a system running through that. 475 per card, that's totally worth it. That's a really nice niche to just keep on going with. That's really nice. Yeah, old world glyphs have been doing well. Yeah, so there we go. That's the one I'd like to get into with Samadan. I'm missing the old world glyphs. Yeah, the offhands not so well at the moment, certainly. Looks like my bag add-on is integrated with TSM. What add-on am I using for my bags? I am using Addy bags, which we have a command for that, bags. So that's the add-on I use, and then there is a TSM filter for it where you can, which is a separate add-on, which will then use you can add in your TSM filters. If I go onto here, and there's a TSM section now, separate things by their TSM groups, and so you can turn things on and off, and then it will add that in. It's really useful just for seeing things at various points and where you haven't got things in. I find it really, really useful. Let's just reset the new items. There we go. So that's the good sellers there, potions and things like that. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. So 89,000, better than I thought it was going to be, if I'm honest. So we'll post everything we do have on, because everything has expired. Let's select all groups, get everything posted on, and then we can see what happens next. Genuinely want to find something you like making gold with. Professionals require so much rep. I'm not sure you can really get into it this late. It can be difficult with a lot of the reps, but we have got the rep bonus out at the moment, so it's never too late, I would say. I'm still doing, I'm still learning inscription. I've just started on blacksmithing, although blacksmithing I don't think requires any reputation really, not to get into the uncanny gear. And then I've still got engineering and jewel crafting to do, so I need to level up a character for that. So good right now with lots of returning 11 ults due to the buff. Yeah, definitely. Alchemy tends to be only profitable when you have the size. It is a shame. I mean, you can see here there's a lot of stuff alchemy wise below minimum price here, below minimum price here. I'm still posting it on, so we'll see how that goes in terms of sales. I've got a fair amount of different bits and pieces. Let's see, we've got a daily cooldown we need to do. I'll transmute, just check that's profitable. So crafting cost is 192, and the anchor weed is currently priced at, where's some anchor weed? Let's find something that's got anchor weed on it. I saw it there somewhere. Zenith's to sea stalk. There's probably an easier way of me doing this rather than doing all of this. Oh, there we go, there's some anchor weed. The anchor weed is currently worth 59 at the moment. Min buyout of 59, and the cost of my herbs at the moment is 192. So that gives me, and I get at least 10 from this. So as long as that's effectively 19 gold for the price of my anchor weed rather than 59. So that's still a profit basically. So it's still worth me doing, but it's worth checking that out. I talk about that in the Wowhead blog this week. So that's that done, and then let's check just to see if Fate be with us and we have a Silas proc. No, not today. Well, not this hour certainly. So continuous curing. So we'll leave those on for the moment with what we have got. What else have we missed out on? Blacksmithing is more like marks of honor. Yes, definitely. Your offhands were going for 10k, but nothing was selling, so you decided to take a profit cut and put them down to 8k. They've been selling much better. Worth looking at what staves are selling at, because people don't buy offhands if staves are cheaper. That's a good idea actually. It's one or the other really, isn't it? Is there any profession you'd particularly recommend? You run inscription and enchanting combo on your main because you sell a lot of gear. So if you've got enchanting, I guess the next pair that I would recommend would be tailoring and leatherworking, to see if you can get the bracer shuffle going and get some cheaper enchanting materials. That would be one idea. Plus you can then use the tailoring and the leatherworking for the uncanny gear, and you can use the tailoring for the bags, so you get quite a lot of extras in there. And of course don't forget cooking. Pick up cooking because that's a good seller as well. Do I use double crafting? To cut down on the grind? How does that work with the rep bonuses? Dark Moon is also up at the moment to help level them up. That's a good point actually, Doc. That has started, hasn't it? And what else did I miss? Search for it in the search thing shows up. All items made with that mat. That's true actually, Drizzling Rice. I could have done it that way. There we go. I missed quite a few things in the chat there. Gordon Sham, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Which uncanny gear should you craft that sells good? Check with TSM and the sale rates for each profession and go from there, I would say. Inscription in a nutshell: start crafting inks, go for a long walk, come back, not done crafting yet. That is true. There's a lot of time spent making the inks. Certainly something to bear in mind if you are going to do it. Right, let's just double check before I move on. Don't spot it in the news yet, so let's carry on. There we go. Basically works like buy materials for the braces, which you then disenchant. Assume you've got a video on the subject. I do, in fact, and Will has given you the link for that. There's a big, long subject, so it takes a little bit to get your head around it, but essentially, yes, it does mean making something like tie spray linen braces, disenchanting the blues, scrapping the greens on a character that can make honourable, say, leather braces, and then sending those back to your enchanter and then disenchanting those effectively. Don't know how big what makes mats the 2 bags in Shadowlands are made of. We don't know yet, Dressing Rice. I haven't seen any information yet on it. Needing 25 light parchment per tome was a good idea. That's quite a lot, isn't it? Certainly. Yeah. 5,000 inks to make tonight. Fun times. Yeah, that is a fair amount. Right, let's go through. Let's continue the gold making journey for the moment. So we don't have that much raw gold on us at the moment. 122,000. A lot of my gold is tied up in the actual herbs themselves, which I'm waiting on the Silas prop to help me out with that. So I'm in a bit of a stuck point with Alchemy at the moment. And it's quite sad the prices are going down as well at the same time. So I'll try and keep generating sales on that as I can. Let's carry on with everyone else though. So let's check our gold for the moment. So we've done 275 plus 89 so far. Where's my calculator? So 275,000 plus 89,000, and that's 890. 275,000 plus 89,000. Currently 364,000. That's in sales, that's not profit, I hasten to add. And then we've got some expires here. We have some war scrolls. We actually have sold a Uncanny Combatants etched vessel of the Harmonious for 6,000. That's pretty reasonable. Auction house is a lot slower here in Borealis, and I've also filled my bags up here. Let's just clear out that junk. Let's repair that, and just I might as well manually do these. That should be easy enough. There we go. And then we can take that, and I can move that back. Take the rest of my expires. So in terms of sales here, we've got 27,000. War Scrolls have done well. Highborn Compendiums have done well. Those have been the main ones. No contracts here, which is interesting. So if I add that one on, plus another 27,000, gives us 391,000. So we'll open up those. Oh, what did I miss? There we go. I'm glad you work with professionals when it comes to making gold. So many either transmog or raw gold farms. It's all down to what you enjoy most. That's the main thing, certainly. Different route this time, so no worries with the caps will. Because you're thinking of not spending time on restocking after November. Kulix, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Takes more than that to trick you. Sure, when it's added for a real Wowhead post, you'll talk about it. But it's about this time start getting mats. So I like to be a half a year in advance. That's good advance stuff. That is certainly. Contracts are dirt cheap, so you make no profit on them. People are selling them for 15 to 20 gold. That's really, really cheap, certainly. Oh, thank you, Jack, with the code as well. That's also another thing that I talk about in the Wowhead blog this week. Gumdrops has posted 30 days free TSM Premium, which I highly recommend trying out. Jack's got the code there for you. So we'll go here. Let's post everything on, as it's all expired. So the contracts are below min price. I'm not really expecting many sales on those, although Tortolan Seekers is the one that I can make a profit on at the moment. Highborn Compendiums and Uncanny Vessels, we can do them, and then a few other bits and pieces. So TSM Premium allows you to have remote backups, so they're stored in the cloud on TSM servers. It also gives you the Great Deals search here in the tab itself, and plus ad-free browsing on their website as well, but that's kind of like a minor perk. But those are the two main ones, certainly. Code costs 500,000, you can send it to me. The Rust Bolt contract is the real money maker. Yeah, I haven't got that one, unfortunately. There is, well, if I can get the once the Wowhead blog goes live, I'll show you the full thing that they posted on. How to constantly mute yourself while streaming. Just hit up, Jack. Did that happen, Jack? How was your stream? I haven't had a chance to chat to you about it yet. Let's have a look here. No, we haven't gone live yet, so I'll have to hold on tight with that one. Certainly. You're now on 3 accounts, 2 auction house and 1 scrapper. Very nice. 3 times it happened. Ouch. Commander Bond, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. It was fun for you. Excellent. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's the main thing. Okay, so we need to just check our auctions. I haven't done any restocking here, so this should be a relatively quick restock. So I'll just clear that. Restock on these. So we've got the War Scrolls and then Compendium and Etched Vessel. We do need some maroon ink, which I need 81 of. That's going to be interesting. Well, I do have some actually, so let's just create those whilst we wait. And my trinkets go for 4k more than yours does. Well, if I can get the sales, then it's good, certainly, but I've only had really 1 or 2 sales of that since I've started it. 24-hour scrapping is fun. that's the trick. Scrapping is never really a huge amount of fun. You saw golden pigment and lion's ink were up on your server, so you farmed life fruit for an hour and made 50 ink that sold for 80 gold each, and sold remaining pigments at 79 each. Nice little profit there for a little work. Very nice. It's really nice when you can spot little opportunities like that in the market. I've been doing some interesting things just at low level when I've been on my monk Feng Shui, and just looking for things like trying to reset the price on the lower cloth and nylon thread and things like that. It is still accurate, Roy. You need to sort of kind of like watch the last video that is linked to in the shuffle sheet, and then you need to sort of look at the addendum as well, which I've also got a link to in the sheet, because that just basically just reminds people that if you bought something particularly cheap, then it may skew your average buy prices for the formula. The only other thing I'd probably add is you will get a disproportionately large amount of Umbra shards, and the value of those may not be what you really want, so bear that in mind. There is a way to make wands and turn those Umbra shards into veiled crystals, so it's not all lost, but there's definitely options there, certainly. So tired of mass scrapping. You go through 10 to 15k linen a day. It's a huge amount of scrapping. It's okay if you got it on a side screen and you can do something else on the main screen, but yes, it is, I agree with you, it is a tough one. I hope we don't have anything like that in Shadowlands. So you can repost at lunchtime. Co-workers might look at me a bit strange, of course. What if we'll see a downturn at auction house competition, stay-at-home orders begin to react? I reckon, Doc Cotter, I'm sure a lot of people have been doing that, certainly. I don't ever remember Gumdrops calling me a good mod. That's fair enough. What was that one? Did I miss one from earlier? Try to follow the thread. So to keep your hoard and Taramel, by the way, so I don't really want to start from scratch elsewhere. That's fair enough, definitely. Right, another 50 maroon ink. I don't think we need this much. No, we've got enough already as it is. So we'll just interrupt that and we'll make the ones we can make. The War Scrolls of Intellect and Battle Shout. It's about 6,000 profit for all of this. The main thing really being the one of the highborn, the Uncanny Vessel, if I can sell that for a decent amount. It wasn't a pen. Best method for you would honestly be boosting Mythic Plus keys, but I haven't played since BOD. Besides, it's not that easy to get into. Yeah, I mean, I know there are Discords specifically for that. It's certainly an idea. Maybe you could start off sort of like getting yourself geared up and ready. But if it's something you enjoy, then definitely I would look into it. A couple of your employees that play as well, but most just don't understand. That's fair enough. You accidentally did a timeout, did you, Jack? That's fantastic. There we go, and another one. That's the 3,700 for that. Let me just check. Zamity, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Uncanny selling. Yeah, let's add another one in. There we go. And then let's go post this lot on. Who's looking? You heard TM Horde. Big boosting communities generally requires pretty high ROI scores. Is that Raider IO, Mr. Honker? Yeah, it's not something I certainly got much experience with, as we know with my mythic runs. Yeah, it's not an easy entry because of that. Well, mate, it's a shame people put too much emphasis on that rather than sort of winning listening experience, I guess. I guess it's a hard sort of clique to get into. Not that I have any experience in that part of the market, so I wouldn't know for sure. Right, okay, so we got a load of stuff I need to sort out here, but I think that's fine to just leave with stuff posted on for the moment. Did I check the golden nut? That was 27,000, wasn't it? I think I added that into the list. So let's carry on. Let's see how we get on with our next character, which will be my leather worker. So see how much we've done in sales on here. They come hand in hand. If you're really into Mythic Plus, then you'll get that score. That's true, actually. Just through the experience of doing them, it will come through, won't it? Could try boosting 5-mask visions. Still requires pretty decent gear. Oh yes, we're over here, aren't we? Back in Stormwind. So let's check the mail. We've got a whole load of expires. We do have some sales though, 49,000. So that's going to be mainly uncanny gear. So I'll add that. 49,500. Let all this uncanny gear come off, and then we've got a few sales here. Shimmer Scale treads as well. The uncanny leather arm guards, waist guards, tread. Some Shimmer Scale diving suits there, drums of the mountain, and leather waist guard and mail there. So a good mix of various uncanny gear, which is a good start certainly. Bet tower boosting with Beacon Shadowlands. I got a feeling it will actually. That's a good idea. Right, let's go post all this lot on. Let's jump right in there, and then we can go and have a look, run a post scan. Probably need to restock on some of this uncanny gear as well, although I expect I'm running low on Expulsum. So again, we've got leatherworking that needs a load of Expulsum, we've got enchanting and tailoring that needs a load of Expulsum, and then we've now got blacksmithing that needs a load of Expulsum. So Samadan's going to be busy making a lot of braces and feeding it to my various characters. So hopefully I can keep up with it. We'll see how my sales get with blacksmithing as well. I do get some sales of Drums of the Mountain. It's telling me here it's a 339 gold profit. So that's actually pretty huge at the moment. That's a big increase in price though. The region market average is more like 128. So I would be looking at more like a 60 gold profit really, rather than that, if that happens to sell. Is the battle contributions for Arathi still a thing? I'm not sure actually. What's the best way to get Expulsum? I would say the best way is making tide spray linen braces and scrapping those. By far the best way, certainly. So with all those posted, actually, I just need to check my auctions again, just so that TSM can register them all. And then we can recraft these. So groups wise we'll go restock. So a few bits of uncanny here. Gathering wise, see we need 13 Expulsum, so I'm all out of Expulsum. I'll just start making them until I can't make any more. And then we'll go on from there, I think. That should be easiest for now. I won't do a full-on bracer shuffle for Expulsum live on the stream, because I don't think I'll put you all through that misery. But we can at least make a few things. There we go. We'll post those on. And let me just double check. I think TSM on leatherworking is pretty much... Nope, we're missing one there. Let's add that in. And we'll go and post all that lot on. So we'll go here and run a post scan here. Bracer shuffle makes you question a lot of your life decisions whilst doing it. Well, for me, it's always the end focus is the goals and being efficient with how I'm getting it and making the best profits possible. So for me, it's kind of like that outweighs the actual act itself. Is it still relatively simple for a beginner like you? It's certainly, it's not the simplest of things, I must admit, but the concept, once you get your head around it, is particularly simple. The thing you will need, though, is to obviously have an enchanter at a decent enough level with tools of the trade to be able to make the most of it. That would be my recommendation, certainly. So with all of that on, let's carry on. Let's check out my blacksmith. Now, when we left this on Thursday, El Morte had just got started and we'd leveled all the way up to 175. We had gotten the uncanny recipes. We'd spent 12 marks of honour just upgrading 2 of the weapons, the deck pounder and the cutlass, I believe. Then I needed a whole load of Expulsum to be able to do more than that. So what I ended up doing was scrapping a whole load of braces on this character, about 250 Expulsum in all, I think I got. Was it about 150? I think it was about 150. Have a look at my world quest map. What have we got? Silent Mouse. What was that for? Look at World Quest with Expulsum rewards. Okay, yes, having World Quest rewards is always a good idea to look out for. What have we got actually on the map at the moment, rewards wise? Don't see anything for Expulsum here at the moment. Let's just go to here. No, I don't have any here either. But yeah, that's definitely worth looking out for. What's the enchanting tools of the trade? Like Silas, yes, but for enchanting it's Uin's enchanting rod, and you really do need it because it gives you a much better return on your disenchanting, and it's a passive effect whilst you have it in your bag, so it's way more reliable than the Silas proc, which is how I would like it to be in Shadowlands, certainly. Right, so we do have a load of expires. That's to be expected because I haven't been on for the last 48 hours on these characters. But, nicely though, we do have some sales, which is really good. It's a really good start. So I think I made about 3 of everything with El Morte here. So we have actually managed to sell Uncanny Plate Arm Guards of the Fireflash, a load of Moral Hardened Stirrups, like lots of those, a few other bits and pieces left over from Alchemy, the Potion of Luck, Thorium Ore, Pyrite Ore and True Silver Ore, and we also sold a Deck Pounder of the Quick Blade. So that's pretty decent. Marsberg, good evening to you. What is the chocolate cake for? It's for the achievement I think it's a bad influence, which adds in for the whole achievement for the Oh What a Long Strange Journey it has been. So you need to feed your orphan. No, you have to eat lots of different types of cake in front of your orphan to be able to get the achievement. Basically, it's part of the Children's Week holiday event. I'm trying to learn gold making, but don't have BFA. Do you think it's necessary for making profit? No, not at all. There are some professions like tailoring and enchanting that still make use of a lot of old world recipes, so I'd certainly say it's possible. And you can even do things like old world content, like old Pandaria and Walls of Draenor raids, and get just raw gold out of those. There's certainly options there for making gold. Selling more Potions of Luck than I am ever. I must be lucky with them because I don't remember selling that many before, but it is nice to have them on. I think that's probably the last ones I'm going to make. So that's 22,000. Add that on. We're looking at 463,000 in sales. Don't think I'll have any more on our vendor seller. Certainly not enough to take me to 500,000 in sales. That would be crazy, but I'll take those certainly. That's really good. So let's take those and post all of this lot back on. Get the uncanny gear back on. So I did start this character off with blacksmithing with 100,000 pool left over from Alchemy, and that was my seed money to get me into blacksmithing. And so I spent about 70 to 80,000 gold on all the materials and everything I needed to level up blacksmithing, and now we're already back up at 50,000 gold, so that's pretty decent. A lot of old world profession mounts. Vala of the Sands is a biggie. That's another good one, Will, certainly. Yeah, there's a lot of old content stuff, certainly. Be off for now. Need to slog through some research papers for anything. No problems, Forecast. Lovely having you here. Hope to see you again soon. You want to make better, more precise groups for professions. Would you recommend a video or a guide on making groups and operations on TSM? I certainly can. I have a whole TSM series that is still relevant today about making groups for professions as well as everything else. Paynick, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by. So we're just going through, we're posting everything on here. I'll probably need to do a relist. So let's have a look here. Kaidar, good evening to you, and Patong, good evening to you as well. So everything is on here. So restock wise, let's have a look at, got to get used to the icons here. Let's clear those. What can we try, and I guess we'll look at those. Do I have a restock for mount stuff? Moral Hardened Stirrups, I've got 1. Given the amount I sold, it was Moral Hardened Stirrups, wasn't it? No, it was the hoof plates that I had let me just have a look at that. Let me look in my ledger. Just look in where I was at. Where was it? It'll probably be in my mount stuff, I guess. In revenue, old world. Well, I've got lots of different things in here actually. Mount stuff, that one. Yeah, so it was the mono hardened hoof plates. We sold loads of those. 6,500 on those. So I need to make a lot more of these if I look at this. You lose half your money if you manage to sell everything. Ouch. You spent 16k on Tice Linen and 28 for the Honourable Gear on Nylon Thread. Total of 45k. Max money you can get out of the return within charge is 20k. So definitely not a good return for you there, certainly, Rodden. Thanks for answering your previous question. And one more, as a casual player, not every day, no more than 2 hours a day, including raiding, what realm size would you recommend and why? As a casual player, probably very much like myself, I don't spend certainly no more than 2 hours a day unless I'm streaming, which is 3 hours a day, but then I'm streaming, so you could probably count that as 2. I would recommend somewhere the size of Shadow Song, which I would say is pretty much medium. That way you don't have to babysit your auctions quite so much, and you can post things on. And then once you've found a niche or two where you can operate in, then I would say then you can fly when it comes to gold making. 28k for Honourable Gear. How much Tempest Hide and Castle Bone on your server? I'll use Deep Sea Satin. I find Deep Sea Satin is really expensive for me, but obviously different servers vary, certainly. You're on Storm Rage. If you plink, you lose a sell. Yeah, the big servers can be really tough markets if you're not constantly on there. But then you should also see volume, hopefully, over time. So looking at this, so that's our value. I've got 23 on. In terms of revenue, let's have a look at that in sales. Let's just go with Monol. Let's have a look here. So I did sell the 22 stirrups there, and stirrups there, and stirrups there. So the mono hardened stirrups are definitely the ones that are getting the sales on that one. Are they not working? I did see some come in earlier, Tigress. If you have subbed, I do apologise if it's not come through. I can't see anything on my list. Let me just see if I can refresh the window. If I reload that, see if it comes through. I've got, the last thing was a follow. I did have the gifted subs from an hour ago. But if you did sub, thank you very much, Tigress. That's very much appreciated. It could be something to do with Streamlabs or something like that, I wonder, perhaps. I can't see anything on my Streamlabs notifications other than that. Just moved from Draenor to Storm Reaver. It took you a while to leave your characters behind. That's fair enough. I think go with whichever server sort of like suits your playstyle the best, certainly. You play for a few hours a day in the morning, a little in the afternoon. I've been making good goals, so definitely doable. You can do it. Exactly, there we go. If there's a... oh, you're on the Twitch app? Maybe that's it. We'll give it a go. Maybe, hopefully it will come through. If it does, but even if it doesn't come through, Tigress, thank you very much for your support. It really is appreciated. Let's see a whole lot of emotes for you anyway, because it's very much appreciated, so thank you. There we go. And continuing on from here, so we are can't remember what I'm doing now. Mono hardened stirrups, I was looking at these. I wanted to increase the amount of these I was making. So what I'm looking at here is into my group, under mount stuff, mono hardened stirrups. I've got 9 on the auction house already. Okay, so that's a reasonable amount already. So 10 on the auction house. We've got a crafting of 10 of each at the moment. Yes, we have. So we'll leave that at the moment. That should be fine. And nothing online either, Silent Master. It's a shame. Hopefully it will come through soon. Right, so we've got all of that, and then we'll go and post this lot on. We've got the restock we need to do, so let's head on over to our forge. Have to remember to go to our special location for this. Jump down here, and then we can craft at least 1 stirrups and 1 plate arm guards. Now I probably need to tell TSM about the new arm guards, so we'll add those in. We need to build up this list like we do with the other professions, and then come through here. There hasn't been anything for... the last one was an hour ago, I would say, so if it's something that's gone off, has gone wrong recently, then that maybe could be a thing. I just want to make sure it was going through. Okay, Total, so it's good. I haven't seen it here, but we'll look out for it, certainly. So we're just trying to cover all the base professions. Since Shadowlands, they will apparently interact with each other, then you can decide what you want to make multiples of. That's a good idea, actually. Are you thinking, is this for... let me just scroll up. Where did I miss that one? Trying to make gold and currently setting up your alt for Shadowlands launch, but at the moment have max alchemy. What profession would you recommend to level up next? Blacksmithing and charting seems lucrative at the moment with all the uncanny gear. Certainly, but as Will was saying, yes, getting all the base professions ready for Shadowlands would be a really good idea. Oh, we've got follows coming through, that's working. Rivelana, thank you very much for the follow. Looks like you made a mistake with the shuffle. Should have done leather working indeed. Okay, learn from your mistakes. You certainly do, Robin. That's how we become better people. So there's no harm in that, certainly. Alright. What my must-have add-ons when starting out. You are the first Viking with such a calm voice. That's very kind. I don't think I've got much Viking blood in me. There is a lot of Scottish heritage there, though. So maybe that's coming through. But when it comes to must-have add-ons, I would say Trade Skill Master being one of the big ones. And I do find Gathermate, if you're looking for gathering professions, is really, really useful. My add-ons are fairly scattered all over the place. Addy Bagged is my favourite bag add-on. Azeroth Autopilot is really good for levelling at the moment, because if you can't afford something like Zygor, Buy 'em All is really handy for just sort of... that's for just basically buying up stacks of things really easily. Quest Counter is just quality of life things for myself. Easy Scrap, obviously, if you're going to be doing any form of scrapping. Garrison Mission Manager for your Order Hall missions. Handy Notes I don't tend to use a lot. I used it a lot with the Draenor Treasures in terms of getting hold of my XP when I was running through that. Hakili for basically trying to learn how to play any of my other classes, certainly. Move Anything, Move Talking Head I don't tend to use much at all. Omnibar I don't tend to use. Rematch I don't tend to use. Roots sometimes I use. Sushi Sort is really good for sorting out your guild bank. Tomcat's Tools I don't tend to use a lot myself. Voodoo I use especially for healing. World Quest Tracker and Quest List I definitely use. Worth It is a really good add-on for those starting out, because it shows you what might be worth it in terms of potential sort of like farms and things like that, made by Dalla GG, so I'd certainly give that a look at. TSM is the big obvious one. Deadly Bod, Moss and Cecile I don't use at the moment anyway. So yeah, those that's the rough, very quick run through of my add-ons that I use. You're back. You stopped WoW for 4 months, so now you have to gold farm. What sells good? Well, welcome back. First things, I would say any of the professions. Find a niche that works for your server, and once you find one that works, double down on that and go from there. Would be my recommendation, certainly. So that's all posted on from here. So let's just log out and go onto another. Cow King, good evening to you. Good afternoon, and good afternoon, Fuckduck. Hope you're doing well. Sorting the guild bank, yes. It's basically it just helps reorganise the messy tabs that I have. So let's go down to my last character that doesn't tend to have a huge amount of gold, but does a very quick Brutosaur vendor shuffle. So there's probably more I can do with this character, maybe even the Alchemy cooldown, because there's a really nice post on how to get that really quickly set up to level 50. So let's take the expires. So yes, not a lot of gold here, 473 in vendor sales this week. I haven't really given it a lot of focus this week, but we have had some vendor sales, nylon thread, powder sugar and enchanting vellum, so we'll take those anyway. That's still a good start. It was called Sushi Sort. I'll type it in chat. I'll show it in action when I go back to Samadan. So run a post scan with all of this. No problem. It's really handy, especially when my guild bank is as messy as it is. It does it per guild tab and just reorganises each one into a nice sort of a neat collection. Bank stack's another one, yeah, thank you typing. So with all that posted, let's just go have a look. Let's use the vendor over here because they're slightly cheaper. Just check my auctions first, and then go on here, TSM, buy groups. No, don't need to buy anything at the moment. Got everything already restocked. I just turned on the sound when you get a sale. My God, it's amazing. It's absolutely essential. Getting the sound, the till sound when you have a sale is the best part, certainly. Have I gone through the Wowhead post yet? No, I haven't, Pagos. Has it actually gone live yet? Is my secondary question, because last time I looked, it wasn't live. I don't see it live yet. So hopefully, when it does go live, please do give me a shout, and I'll be able to talk about it. But we're basically talking about Bellulars and Breg's got some nice videos on professions. We talk about Modest Millions newbie gold making guide, and well, sort of like all the different principles. We talk about Super Squirt being available on NA at the moment for today. We talk about TSM and the 30 days premium, and I think Kraken Latte's done a video as well going on about raw gold farms. So a number of different things coming up with this week's Wowhead blog once it does go live. So with all of that done, all those characters, let's have a look at what we could do. Am I excited about Shadowlands Profession? Very much so. It looks really, really nice. I'm looking forward to how they all interact with each other. So that's definitely on my list of things that I would like to really sort of like delve into and get a little bit more information on. What else did I miss? Fusaka is your best flip, selling 2k a week minimum, 5 to 7 gold each. Very nice. You did make some gold at the start of BFA with Inscription. You'd be a millionaire if you'd sold full sets instead of separately. Yeah, a lot of people did really well with Inscription in the early days. I wasn't one of those, certainly. Now sitting at 1.2 million. Very nice. Can you sort each tab separately with the add-on? Yes, I'll show you here exactly how it works. So we'll go over to my guild bank. So all it does is it brings up a little button here called sort for each of your, well, it's there all the time, and for each of your tabs. So this is looking relatively neat at the moment. That's quite full of stuff. This one's a bit of a mess. That one's definitely a bit of a mess. So what it will do is just reorganize. I'm not sure exactly how it organizes. It roughly looks like by expansion, as well as other things. So I literally click the sort button and it will start shuffling things around from one tab to the next. There we go, just sold a flying carpet for 3,000 gold. That's a good price, certainly. Which add-on am I using for my bags? I'm using Addy bags with the extra add-on that does the TSM filtering as well. Sitting at a whopping 100k. Fantastic. That was a gold rush. Yeah, it certainly was. Zimpao, good afternoon to you. All is very well, thank you very much. How about yourself? So we're just going through showing Sushi Sort in action. It's just reorganizing my guild bank for me. This is a particularly messy one, so it's putting all my various flasks together, All the gems are over here. All the patterns and things are here. So it literally just sort of like just puts everything all together, so it's easier to see them grouped like this. This one's particularly sort of mismatched, I would say, as an example, because this has got miscellaneous stuff that I just throw everything in, and it just clears all the sort of the space out of one end and then puts it on the other. You can see there it's just moving all the ores together into one nice stack, and then the bars, and then the fish, and then everything's like that, and then it says sorted in the bottom there. But if I was to look at something something like, I guess the food would be one. It's fairly well organized there as it is anyway. That's particularly messy with all the different herbs and the fish thrown in there, and the same with the cloth. But that, you can see how it's already been sorted roughly, where I've got various things all together here, and the same here. This has been sorted before, so it's just cleaned out all the various things. And if it was to sort this out, then it would probably just do a few of the other bits and pieces, reorganize those, and then it will take all the Umbra shards, put them together, which is quite handy. Then it's putting all the Panther gems together. You see I've got that Chaos Orbs here, but I've also got them in another tab, so I could probably do with putting them together. Oh, there we go. Subs are working. Thank you, Flame Off TV, for your Prime for 3 months. 3 months already. Glad you found me fantastic chilled out content. Well, that's very kind of you to say so. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your support. It's really appreciated. A whole load of emotes for you. Thank you very much indeed. Sorry if you missed me saying anything after I first joined the stream. Went for dinner. No problem, Hades Wayne. Do you have a question though? You have a druid that you have herb mining on, but you use it also to farm transmog in old dungeons on it. Would you say it's worth keeping as a herb mining, or change it to something else? Druids are great for herb mining. I would see no reason why to change it, especially if you've gone to the trouble of getting all the rank 3s and stuff like that. If anything, I would maybe think of making another character. Other than that, if I was looking for something else. Off work, so it's all good now. Getting the weekly WoW fix and then some game time. Fantastic, Inbound. Well, it's good to have you here. Your TSM is saying Colteran Herbalism is 122 gold profit. Can you trust these profit values? You can, as far as they were last scanned. You'll see in the tooltip, the TSM auction database line, it tells you when it was last scanned. So that is where it's relying on the data for that. Obviously prices may fluctuate since then, but that gives you an idea anyway. Talk about another shuffle. Thiranda, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Haven't actually got a lot of leveling on both of them yet. Has already played it since making the farm, but that's fair enough. Definitely keep it, as there's also old content farms that are worth it. Yeah, I would be in favour of keeping it, certainly. Right, that's my guild bank sorted quite nicely. We do need to restock on Samadan. So I'll run over here onto the auction house. We do have one here that I could just have a quick scan of. That's the mailbox. I want to look at the auction here just to see all my various things that are on at the moment, and then I know what I need to restock on, which I've got a feeling is going to be a large amount of stuff. So restocking here, we have a whole load of enchants, a little bit of cooking, some uncanny gear, some netherweed bags, hexweed bags, silkweed satchels. So that's a fair amount of stuff. If we were to collect all of this up, tailoring, enchanting and cooking, our task list looks fairly sizable. A lot of this we can get from the guild bank though, so that'll be my first point of call. Cooldowns wise, we need to do temporal crystal. Let's start with that. Do I use the TSM desktop app? The desktop app is essential for the general running of TSM, so it's always a part of TSM. So I'd definitely say. Angry Rockstar's last message. Let me just scroll up. Oh, did it not pop up? Angry Rockstar. There must have been an issue with some of them. I do apologise. Thank you ever so much for your sub. That's you're the second person that's mentioned it, so that maybe there have been some problems with the sub. So if you have subbed and I've not spotted it in the notifications, please do accept my apologies. It seems to be something isn't making them posting as reliable. But thank you for your support. Very much appreciated. There we go. Thank you, Drizzling Rose, for pointing that out to me as well. Can you make a custom price for an item? Yes, you can have custom prices. I have one, a custom price I use for telling me what my potion value is, which is quite kind of useful. Let's take all of this lot from the guild bank. Let's start with that lot, and we'll run through from there. That's the thing there. It's a soul-bound thing that you want to set it with. Yes, you can do that. Basically, things like bind on pickup items, certainly. Don't think making Trustcast to set up daily anchor weeds is still worth it. Anchor weed dropping nearly under 50 gold. Yes, and I think it would cost you a fair amount just to do that. You'd be much better off just making a character to regularly do it, certainly. Is there a possibility to use herbs as your crafting cost for inscription? Yes, that's always the kind of like the default. Do you mean your own gathered herbs, or do you mean ones bought from the auction house? Because usually TSM will take into account bought prices. If you want to use your own gathered prices, then I'd suggest maybe putting in a manual price that represents your time for the herbs would be my next option from that. Buy from vendor. Let's borrow you whilst you're here, and we'll buy the wildflower and everything there. Then we're left with a few different bits and pieces. Shard crystals. We need. What do I need the shard crystals for? I'm not sure where they're coming. Oh, those would be from the Tome of Illusions, I believe. Let's start with shopping of this, and let's scan all of that. See what we need. There's a string from Billis Onyxia. There is that one. That's the one I use. That's a good call. I forgot to mention that one. Do I think the collapse of a lot of markets is a bit unusual at this stage of the expansion? I mean, we're likely to have 6 months until Shadowlands at least. I don't recall them collapsing this early in previous session. We talked about this in the last Wowhead blog last week, and I got a feeling that yes, they have gone fairly sharply, but I wonder if they'll bounce back from sort of like a bottom floor as such, and people will find a new steady, because those that might have crashed those markets, once they are no longer profitable, they'll then move on to other methods of making gold. So I got a feeling that they'll find their own equilibrium. That's it. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Crozak, for the VFA link. If you want to craft the scrolls and contracts, it takes the ink to estimate the profit, right? I'm going to use like to use the herbs instead. Yes, so using Billis's post there, it shows you exactly how to set up the strings for that. What add-ons programs should you use for multiboxing? Well, I hear all the multiboxers talk about IS Boxer, but if that is paid for, it is possible. I believe there's a program called Multiboxology. I know Krakenlati did a video on it. Maybe have a look at that for something free. Goblin Gliders probably will sell well for leveling characters. I believe they probably will, yep. Everyone panicking over getting the longbow. Yeah, that's probably a good point as well, Will. Got to think of that. Worth a transfer from a high pop to Shadow Song or a medium to maximise gold making. If it suits your playstyle, then yes. But obviously you've got to pay for the transfer. I would certainly test it out first, make a character on that server and just see if the market is what you expect of it, and then move on from there perhaps. Use Loot Appraiser for transmog things only during challenges. No idea if Loot Appraiser can do it. Is that for takes cheapest herb as reagent pigment? Yeah, that's for that one. Multiboxology has some great guides. Yeah, so I'd maybe have a look at that certainly. But IS Boxer is the one that most people, I believe, use. Yeah. So what do I need to buy here? Let's have a look at my list. Moist Fillet, 9 of those. It's 20 silver, so that's pretty cheap. I'm going to buy a big chunk of it so that I don't need to buy that again for a little while. Iceweb Spider Silk looks like it's cheap. I only need 1. I've got 3 in my bags. I don't really need 418, but I will take a good chunk of them to restock on. Let's take 100. There we go. Shard crystals. I believe I'm going to need those for... I don't have them in an actual group. I need 25 of them, so How much have we got here? 35, 1 there and 35 there. Ah, Angry Rockslide, thank you very much for the donation. That's super kind of you. I know the sub might not have worked, but the donation has certainly come through. Thank you very much. That is very kind of you. Doubly appreciated, Angry Rockslide. Thank you very much. That will certainly come to good use. Thank you indeed. Those primal fires look good. Yep, 1,000,000 gold. I definitely might have one of those. There we go. And Hotkey Net. Yeah, that's another one I've heard of. Am I selling a Naga hide stall on my enchanter? I'm not, Doc Otter. What's Naga hide used for? Netherweave cloth. Do we actually need to buy some netherweave cloth? I hadn't realised I'd run out of it. So let's have a look at the price of netherweave cloth. 55 silver. It's still relatively cheap. My mat cost is 45 silver. So I'll buy that one, and then I'll probably buy, as we use a lot of it, I'll buy the 702. There we go. That will come through. There we go. Oh, there we go. And your subs come through as well. I feel like Twitch is playing you now with this popped anniversary. Oh no, that's a real shame. I'm sorry that it came through afterwards. But thank you doubly for that. Thank you for the support coming through. Very much appreciated. There are Oreo and food pics in case you're not yet. We do. Oreo is behind me, but he's on the bed, so I can't show him, unfortunately. I posted on Twitter today a lovely picture of Oreo, who had decided to climb up onto the top of my fence that's got a trellis on it. I've never seen him jump up so high. He looked a little bit scared, so he jumped back down again. What else did I miss there? It's an enchant debating about whether to get the 3-star recipe. Oh, right. The Naga hide one. Let me search that up, and I can tell you from my ledger then, in terms of revenue. Enchant weapon Naga hide. I have sold 1 4 days ago in the last 30 days. If I look over all time, that's a lot. But a lot of these are 293, 285, 262, 189, 163. So in the last 150 days, I've sold 2, one 31 days ago and 1 4 days ago, and the price per item is pretty low. So yes, if you really want to get the rank 3s, but it's in my enchanting, BFA enchanting, not so good list. So there we go. I have fans. Do I, Jack? I haven't spotted it. Seen many times before. Anyone it's possible to sell cat at Alchemy. Dr. Citron Live, thank you also for the follow. Hope you're doing well. So Cultural Herbalism has 2.8 value on your TSM, but region average sold 11 enchants. Confused. Isn't 2.8 a high value? It is usually, but it depends on. I mean, it's not as good as 0.45 or 0.5. But yeah, being a completionist, I think I would say it's definitely worth it from that point of view. What else did I do? Yes, so the sale rate, it is quite a good sale rate, but it depends on how much you get those sales, really. It's probably one of those enchants that a lot of people throw on the auction house, so there'll probably be a lot of competition for it, certainly. As Magnum said, when you're levelling it up, certainly. What does the number even signify? It's what TSM calculates as basically the number of times it has been listed before a sale is theoretically generated. So 0.28 is a bit like, say if it was 0.5, then if it's posted twice, it will sell on the second time. Or if it's 0.25, then it takes 4 times to sell. It's kind of like the rough, and if it's got a sale rate of 1, then it will sell every time that you post it on. But obviously you don't tend to get things that have got a sale rate of 1, really. Indicates how much gold 20 euros is. Oh, is that for the token price? I apologise if I have missed anything in chat. It's scrolling through rather quickly at the moment, but thank you everyone else for your comments and stuff. Low price debt indicates how much gold 20 euros. Most people are only able to farm play 10 minutes each day, and token would cost 1 million gold. Same key, let's say 3. It will work with that. Oh, is that for your scroll wheel, is it? Okay. Is it? It's more profit to have Transmute Master, Elixir Master than Potion Master in general. That's a question for Jack, certainly. I think Transmute Master is the most popular one, certainly. Right, so I was buying thing on the auction house, wasn't I? So let's have a look. Shard Crystal, Primal Fires. That's definitely a no-go at 1 million gold each. Dream Shards, 9 gold. That's quite a lot more than my normal price of 12 silver. And the Shard Crystals are at 7.99. I can probably afford those. The Wild Jades are actually quite reasonable at that price, so I'll take those as well. So Shard Crystal, I'll take 24. I don't know if I can make everything I want to be able to make with this. I'll be missing something, certainly. And then we also need the Wild Jade, 2 of those, so I'll just take a couple now, as we don't make them with El Morte anymore. There we go. We'll leave the rest of those. Let's just check my list of things that are required. I'll need to make a few bolts and things like that. That'll probably give me a better idea once I've done those. So let's start off with this. Let's clear some of this out. So Mysterious Essence. TSM wants me to do the Abyssal Shatter, but I'm actually going to use the not Abyssal Shatter, Ethereal Shatter, but I'm actually going to use this one because I got more of this material and it's actually cheaper for me, but I have to make 3 times the amount, so I'll make 9 of those. Let that run through. Came in late today, was having a go at some heroic raiding. Oh, excellent, Tuvalu. How was that? Now it's time to chill with Sam. Excellent. Got a bit frustrated towards the end. Yes, I can imagine it's quite hard work on those. I'm going to open the mail on those, and we also need to make some bolts as well. So let's run through those. So let's take my purchases. You have 8,000 in sales so far tonight, so that's a good start. And then let's make some of this. So what have we got? Bolt of Netherweave, 16 of those. I can make 143. Oh yes, I did buy a load of cloth. So let's just create those for the moment. At some time when I'm AFK, I'll have to make the rest of the bolts, and that should help keep my bank nice and clear. We need to upkeep 2 tokens, yeah. Just make every macro an assist focus, target, cast spell, follow focus, and then just make them focus on your main character you controlled. I mean, that's a fairly decent, simple way of doing it. I've not really looked into it myself, but I've seen videos of people doing it. You can do up to level 20 with trial accounts. Recommend doing it a leveling zone, get a feel for it. Yeah, that's a good idea, just to try it out, see if it's for you. And Bolt of Frostweave, we need 12 of those, so let's create all of those. And then it's going to go on to Imbued Frostweave after this, and then I can see what I'm missing, Primal Fire and Dream Shard for, and then what I might need to go and do to get those. So let's run through that, and then I'll do Imbued Frostweave, which is the next lot. Go with that. What's all the old mats for? Sorry, missed that part. This is basically, we are restocking on Samadan here. So we've got restocking on some tailoring and some enchanting and some cooking. A lot of this will be for some of my sort of like more sort of lower bags and things. Let's have a look. There we go. Uncanny satin braces have just sold. So the things I can't make yet, Hexweave bag, I probably need to visit my garrison. We've got everything we need here. Enchanting wise, this is what I'm missing. The Dream Shard for Tome of Illusions Northrend, and the Primal Fire for Tome of Illusions Outland. So I'll leave those off the list for now. and the hex weave bag, we'll come back to that another time. So that gives me a restock of all of this lot, saying 20,000 profit according to all of that. So let's start with the tailoring. Let's make up all of that. Can be Summer, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Was it average quantity you want to sell enchants? No, dumping like 40 of the same enchant isn't necessarily wise. I think I go at most maybe 10 or 15 for the fast moving ones. That is crafting, I hope, somewhere in the background. No, I'll have to probably do a reload, let that run through. Sometimes TSM will get stuck on multiple items, so a reload will fix it, which will get me through this bit. Depends on your server. Talking about BFA ones, everything sells. You restocked too little, but if you have a lot of unsold ones, you made too many. That's a good ballpark, certainly. Right, go back to tailoring. Start with the silk weave satchels. Let those go through. Then we'll go back to our nether weave bags. They take ages to make. You're doing 3 for BFA, but to try them out, try out how fast you can sell them. Yeah, it's a good idea to have more than one on at any one time, so that if that one does sell, you've always got another one on the auction house. Right, now flying carpet takes a long time to make. There's a good profit margin on that though. Normally I sell it for about 400 or 500 gold. I do seem to be getting quite a few sales of the flying carpet. It's one of my better random sellers, certainly. There we go. Right, okay, we're done with tailoring. Let's jump over to cooking. Let's make sure Pierre's out. Is he out? Yes, he is. There he is. Abyssal fried risole. McDowell's Big Mac. Baked potato. Fragrant and biltong. That's quick. And then over to enchanting. So all my accords of critical strike have sold. So my restock amount on those is 15. So I've sold out all of those. But interestingly, only 2 accords of haste. And they both have the same number of restock amounts. Dumpster, good evening to you. It appears it's Sunday again. Guess it's a raid for you. Well, it's good to have you here, Dumpster. Hope you're doing well. I think I missed my question earlier, but what professions would I focus on in the beginning of Shadowlands? Seeing like everything will be making profit no matter what. Just curious what I am thinking. I'm really torn with that one, Scape. Wow. I would say probably go with whichever your main has as you run them through the content, but I've got a feeling for me certainly Shadowlands is going to be the one where I don't have any one main, but I'm going to have at least 4 mains, probably 1 for each covenant, and I will try to have at least 2 good professions on each of those, because I've got a feeling, like you said, it's going to be spreading across several professions and they're all going to be interlinked with each other. So I think there's going to be gold to be made everywhere, which is going to be fantastic. If you're starting on a new server, definitely go Jewel Gatherer to build capital, but then you enjoy farming. Yeah, I would do the same. A lot of my early characters start with that very same thing. Let's borrow you whilst you're here, and let's just post these up. Run a post scan on everything. Silkweave Satchels, Tome of Illusions Pandaria, Deadly Navigation. Some of these are really cheap, some of these are reasonable. Quarter Critical Strike there at 685. Uncanny Gear's doing well. Netherweave bags have got a reasonable markup on them. Flying Carpet is a good price at the moment of 3,000. In terms of how many I've sold 17 overall, from as little as 428 for as much as 2,800. So this is definitely the upper end of my sales. Senna, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. With fishing, you just make a cast fishing, 5 different buttons. Oh, is that for the multi-boxing? That's a great idea, that one, definitely. No problem, Skatewell. If I apologise if I miss it, the chat's going through rather fast tonight, so I am missing a few things. So thank you for repeating it. It's also on having all the windows in a fancy way connect to each other. Is that add-on? I've seen people do that with the same with the mouse pointer with Boxer. Certainly, that's one I've seen it happen. You've done that every expansion since Mob, and it's been good. However, you may try something else this time. What was that for? Druid that has mining and herbing is nice to have at the beginning of an expansion. Yes, definitely. You need some parasocial experience whilst you're at super squirt level. Some good luck, Senna. It is a super squirt day in NA. It's not something I've ever done before, but I know Rackles has done it, and a video. I put that on the Wowhead blog for everyone who was going to do it today. So good luck for all of those. You do dual crafting and inscription. I think that's a good combo, Fuckerduck, certainly. I think they probably work quite well together. iSpecs lets you do fancy window stuff. With HotKeyNet, only does the copying of keys, window control. Yeah, definitely. Majority is going to farm. That's why you don't start with it. I guess that's what people do. They focus on farming first, then professions, and then build up through there, I guess. I just realised Pierre is standing right next to a cooking fire. the irony. Spear, food and gear, maybe some handy gems. Do you have to go enchanting with tailoring, or is there some better thing to pair it with? No, there's no real reason for it, because the tailoring items you can send to your enchanter. So you could have tailoring on an alt quite easily. I wouldn't necessarily say it has to be paired with enchanting. It just happens to have fitted quite well with Samadan being my main and being a cloth wearer. That's the only reason I went for that. Got yours on your birthdays last year, so exactly 1 year and a day ago. Oh, happy birthday, Drizzling Rose. I worked that one out. Happy late birthday indeed. Tailoring is basically just a profession that lets you craft and gather in one skill. And we've just sold some a belt, uncanny belt, for 3,000 gold. And a baked potato for 45 gold. You went, and I kind of regret, since you could craft yourself amazing leather gear for your monk. Not as many recipes at rank 3 now, just to just get rid of it. Yeah, that could be the shame. Really, is once you've invested in a profession, a really reluctant to trash it for something else. Certainly, into gold making this time round, so markets herbs all will be erased at the bottom. It's going to be interesting. I got a feeling that may be the case. Certainly, well. Pre-BFA stuff am I selling from enchanting and tailoring. I've got a whole deep dive video on both of those, to you, Bogdan. It's probably more exhaustive to have a look at those if you look at my YouTube videos, where I got the deep dive series on tailoring and enchanting. YouTube. If you have a look at those, that's probably the better idea. Oh, you went tailoring and enchanting, and you do regret not going leatherworking enchanting, but it's too late now. It's really hard, isn't it, once you've invested? I do feel for you, certainly. Right, so where are we at? Has the Wowhead blog gone live yet? Because just putting it up now. Sorry. Okay, no problem. There we go. So hopefully this will be up in a moment. So keep an eye out for it. I am reliably informed. The Wowhead blog will be going live soon. Do I sit on the floor? I used to for most of my streaming career. It's only recently, since the virus lockdown, I've moved my PC upstairs so I can work from home at a desk, because I'm at that way I'm sort of like not in the middle of my living room where I'll get underfoot with all my family. But I'm actually much prefer to be sat on the floor, and Oro much prefers for me to be sat on the floor, because He's currently sort of behind me on the bed, wishing he could be next to me because he gets all the strokes that way. Druid with herb mine, tailoring enchanter, jewel crafting blacksmith, a leatherworking skinner, scribe alchemist, engineer alchemist. That's a good combination. I like all of those. And then the 2 poor tier STEM desktop app servers connecting for 5 minutes now. I suspect with the code going live, I'm sure they've probably been completely hammered. Just didn't notice prime time when firing it up. Yeah, I hadn't. You study abroad and miss your cat so much. Oh, it's so harsh, Tulu, definitely, when you're away from your loved ones. I can sympathise, certainly. Think about it a little bit since already stressing you out, and you haven't even started. It's just like TSM, Megan. I have not done it myself, so I couldn't say, but I imagine it's just like TSM in that, you know, if you take it in small chunks and go slowly, you'll get there eventually, certainly. So it was sort of DDoS with people trying to use the code. Was it really? Was it that? Well, it's a good sign that it's popular, certainly. Right, okay, let's have a look. Let's go on with here, and then we'll go on here. There we go. And the diet, thank you very much for using your Prime 6 months. Hope all is well. All is very well. Thank you very much, and thank you for your support. That is very much appreciated. Thank you indeed. See a whole lot of emotes for you. Thank you very much. It's all covered. I did have your wolf farm, your multi-blocks cloth farm, but the wolf is a solid 10 gold per second, and that's still the best farm you know after you keep hunting. Fair enough. It shouldn't be too long now, Silent Mouse, hopefully, all things considered. Right, so let's, where should I park myself? I guess we could probably, I ought to really go to my garrison and make some hexweave bags, because we missed out on those. That's the only thing I didn't restock on. So let's do that now. How do you get marks of honour quick? I would guess the best way at the moment is to make use of the brawl that is on currently, and use the brawl Arathi Blizzard. Start the quest for that, and you'll get a good 5 marks of honour if you get a win with that. That would be my best option. I need to do this myself, actually, on all my characters. Whether I can do that tonight or not, I'm not sure. Actually, whilst I'm here, let's just open up my mission table and collect my resources and my rush work orders. And nothing else is new, so we'll head on outside. And then we'll go here. Got 6, waiting, closing out, let's fire it back open. Data in 60 seconds. Oh, interesting. There we go. Okay, thank you for the heads up, Silent Mouse. Right, let's go through here. Let's go over here. And we'll collect up our hexweave. Fair amount of that. That's all done. No good PvP brawl until June the 23rd. The Tentacle of Hot Mogu is really fun, easy to win for a boomkin. Ah, right. I haven't tried that one. So let's list all that lot on. We're running low on sumptuous fur. Probably have to look into buying some of that soon, if I can get some cheap. Usually the easiest way for me, because I prefer to just simply buy things if I can, rather than farm them. And same with the Draenic dust. If you can get it at a decent price, it's good. And then I've also got my rush work orders, which I will just kick off now. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. It's up. Okay, thank you, Doc Otter. How do I keep all tasks in memory and streaming without executive assistance? I couldn't do it for 5 minutes. This has kind of gotten into a bit more of a routine for me, so I don't mind too much. The base stuff that I've been doing for a good sort of year or so now, and then adding new stuff in each time just adds layers upon layers, which is all good fun. I do miss a lot though. That is said, definitely. I like the name of my garrison. You're naming yours Skyfall. I didn't realise my garrison actually had a name. Can you name it? There we go. Where are you? Oh, you're over here. You're always hiding somewhere I can never see you. Create all there. Rehab of running very low on sumptuous fur. Currently looking at 2 gold on a min buyout there. Let me just go. Oh, actually, how much? Let me just check that tooltip again. How much do I have? 12 in the guild vault. Okay, we'll do that. Thank you, Silent Mouse. I'll go and have a look at that in a moment. And Bernie CT, thank you for the follow. Hope you're doing well. We're just going through and doing my last hex weave. Let's do a sumped search. Oh, there's actually someone for 1 gold, even better. Let's have a look at this in more detail. We'll take all of that. In fact, I'll use the we'll use this, and then I'll buy this, everything up to 2 gold, which should be a nice amount there to keep me in that. But the main thing we want to do here is make our hexweave bag, which we can now switch to the standard hexweave cloth. Hexweave bag, we can actually make 2 hexweave bags, so we'll get both of those on the auction house, which is a really good start, and then we'll collect those up. There we go. You want to do next? Another question. Oh, let's swap over to TSM, and then we'll run a post scan. Just got your goblin to 100. Do you think it's worth going for the old recipes for engineering? Yeah, the collection person in me would say definitely go for the old world ones. A lot of the old mounts, engineering wise, I think still sell, so it's definitely worth it. Right. Okay. Let's go check out the Wowhead blog whilst we're here. So let me just bring this up, and then I'll research this. There we go. Fantastic. So I'll just adjust the command for it so that it's correct. So let's go through to the commands. Wowhead, edit that one, and then we'll post that on there. And we'll submit that, so that should hopefully work. Let me check this out. So the Wowhead blog is now apparently live. There we go. Thank you, Silent Mouse. You got there exactly the same time. Brilliant. And we just sold another weave bag. We just put that on. I expect we'll see 4 of those coming through. Yep. There we go. And where's the 4th one? There it is. Fantastic. So the Wowhead blog for this week, week number 123. Wow, that's really gone through fast. So let's move this over to this side. Okay, there we go. Still holding on to a deep dive helmet engineering pattern from way back on your US account. Good luck with that, happiest, definitely. Farmer True, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. We were just talking to Megan about potentially multi-boxing and different methods, and Dressing Rose was talking about the multi-boxology and stuff like that. So if you do have any input, Farmer True, on getting started in multi-boxing, please do share them. But I'm going to go through the Wowhead blog to start off with. K Shady, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. So today I wanted to talk about a few things. Mainly, I thought Bellula did a really good summary video on professions. So we talked about this, but was it when Shadowlands Alpha first got data mined, and there was all the really interesting stuff on professions with all the interactivity. And we've talked about this for the past few weeks, and since the wrap up 120. And now I thought Bellula's video was really a really nice summary of all the kind of thoughts that we've had on this, and so I wanted to share it here because I'm sure many of you have already seen his videos, but the points he wanted to go through was basically talking about player agency in deciding stats and looks was really positive, the interconnectedness between the professions, the return to a sort of more classic feeling with things like oils and armor patches, and the fact that enchants can go through so many different slots, the removal of sort of the random number elements so that you can specify what kind of gear you want to make. So far there's no sign of bind on pickup reagents like Expulsum, which is really nice. He even came up with a nice idea for maybe some Torghast specific items and things like that, and the general boost to the economy with all these being in demand items. I think was a really nice summary of it. So if you haven't seen it already, I highly recommend checking it out, because it was a really concise summary and it echoes a lot of what my thoughts are with Shadowlands Professions, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it pans out. Hat MP, thank you very much for the follow. Just jump in at the deep end and start making crazy gold. There we go. Bolton, good afternoon to you. I hope you're doing well. So continuing on from the theme of professions, Breg's done. He's doing a kind of like a profession series at the moment, and his one on tailoring was particularly good because it talks about a lot of these sort of old world methods of that are still valid for tailoring. So it's not just the uncanny gear and the latest bags and things, but overall he's talking about all the old things, the bags and the other bits and pieces you can make with tailoring. So I would highly recommend that as a profession if you are looking into making gold to start off with. Overall, seems crafting will have a larger role in the game. It's very nice. I think so. Say Cartlet. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be really nice if it continues in the direction it's currently looking. I definitely think it's a good idea. The mindset change is what most struggle with. Time valuation comes into things a lot more. That's a good point, actually, Farmer True. Did he just do enchanting today as well? I said, oh, excellent. So click on Breg's YouTube channel here, and then you can see the new ones. Unfortunately, it wasn't quick enough for me to do it this week, but maybe I will be able to include it next week. But I highly recommend Breg's videos because I use it was one of his early videos that got me interested in gold making way back when I started my journey back in Legion. Totally. Also cleaned up your button toolkit bank taps. You've been dumping cloth and gems and stuff while leveling your 47 Olsen years time. After 4 hours you made 5k on them, but it's not bad. Some random leveling item trash. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. Has anyone leveled up profession just by buying mats on the auction house? If so, how much did it cost? That's the way I do it. Certainly, that's how I do all of my professions, really, unless I'm going out of my way to farm things up. For the Horde 007, thank you for the follow, and Zay Cartlet, thank you very much for the sub as well. Is it Zay Cartlet or Zoo Cartlet? But thank you very much for your support. That is really appreciated. I hope I am well. I would like to thank you if you learned how to use TSM by watching all my great videos. Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you for stopping by and leaving such kind words. Over the past few weeks, you've been busy. Everspeed, bronze, well playing. You found either 5k or under since they are used in the Super Squirt, and you've done all this morning for 35k a piece. Pretty awesome flip. That's very nice. So if you do know what is needed in the Super Squirt, at the moment it's NA's turn to have it. We won't get it for EU for another 99 days. So if you look at what is going well on the NA side, then you can use the same principles for the EU pets. It's not an area that I have a lot of expertise in, certainly. Only correct professionals buying mats from the auction house Alchemy, because you need to do the flasks and enchanting where you throw away gold on veiled crystals. I would say certainly when it comes to veiled crystals, yes, and alchemy, yes. Both of those professions do have a high entry gold-wise in terms of buying all those things in order to get the profession started. But once they do get started, then they can start making some nice gold. I guess that's one of the barriers of entry that makes them useful. Oh, just sold an Accord of Haste. So the next thing on the list is the Beginner's Gold Guide, started by Modest Millions here. So going through, this is this is very much the basics in terms of like what different things would you look at if you're wanting to get started in gold making, and just kind of like someone who's never made any gold before, where would you start and what can you do? So it goes through a really nice sort of simple guide here of talking about questing, world quest gold, professions, raw gold, and then the auction house. So just going through these general methodologies that people will use. So I think it's important to remember that not everyone is like a seasoned TSM user, and a lot of people are just starting out and just want to make a little bit of gold. I mean, I can take my wife as an example. She has literally just started playing WoW for the first time in the last couple of weeks. She's made more gold on her character in the time she's played as my character Feng Shu has made in the same time. So my wife is a way better gold maker than me. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how she gets on once she starts learning more about TSM and things like that. And this is just doing very simple things like posting things on the auction house that we collect. Any plans for Shadowlands Profession update video stream? Once there is more information out, I will certainly do more on it. This is all the information we have at the moment, what's been data mined. They have just started putting the herbs and the ores into the zones now, so hopefully we will see a bit more coming out in the alpha. I don't have alpha myself, so I can't see it firsthand, but those are the reports I'm hearing. Am I writing these Wowhead reports? Yes, I am. Carla. Oh, we've just sold the first Hexweave bag for 1,100. Your wife is a better gold maker than you too. I think many people have the potential for gold making, certainly. They just don't necessarily know it yet. TSM isn't the be-all and end-all of gold making. Learning to identify a profitable market and know the game well enough to know why and when it'll be in demand is what makes a gold maker. I couldn't agree more, Farmer True. It's not the tool, but the thinking behind the tool that really sets you apart. So following on from Modest Millions sort of like guide has how to get started, Kraken Nati's been doing some really great gold making videos of late, and the one she did recently was just exploring just how good the Legion solo raw gold is. The general upshot of this video and others that I've seen is that basically Legion is not necessarily the place to get your raw gold for vendoring things. The main reasons being because you can't necessarily one-shot everything quite yet at this stage, and two, because the weapons don't drop, so you don't get all those which are usually the higher vendor sales. So for those reasons, people tend to stick to the WoD and the Pandaria dungeons and raids when it comes to raw gold. Neither of these are things that I tend to do a lot for myself, certainly. Do not forget the 20 times WoW accounts. Generally feel like I'm too impatient as a personality to really get in depth about gold making. You've just adapted to passing by with really little gold. I mean, kind of a question of really sort of working with the tools you have, and even if that's your personality and that's how you work, then use that to your advantage. You may be able to react to other markets where other people may not be quick enough to react to them. Just farming and putting stuff in the auction house, exactly. So what we do with 3 characters, then expect fishing ends in the third. Yeah, 64 is the crazy amount, certainly. Well, I'm now AFK. Let me just rectify that with my Brutosaur. There we go. And where's my window? There we go. Let's go back onto this. You tried Hellfire Citadel. It was a really good raw goal. Interesting, yeah. Skyreach seems to be the one that a lot of people talk about, and a lot of the Mr. Pandaria raids as well. Herbalism felt like worthwhile during Lords. I think it's usually a good idea, something like that, but as Will was saying earlier, maybe everyone will be doing herbalism to start with, and the market will get flooded, so it'll be very interesting to see what happens to the prices with Shadowlands once it gets released. So moving on, so that was the sort of the beginner's guide, and we talked about this earlier on in the stream, but it is Super Squirt Day today for NA realms, so make sure that basically you can get all your pets leveled and then sell them for a higher price is the general thinking behind this. This again is something that I don't tend to do a lot of, pet selling, but Records Want to Buy Gold has done a really good YouTube guide on this. It's an older video, but it's still completely relevant for today. We won't get one in EU for another 99 days, so we'll have to wait for that, unfortunately. No worries, Lizelle. What was that for? Terrace is... What did I miss? It's really fast and drops a lot. Oh, excellent. That's another good one. Growth Spiral, good evening to you. I hope you're doing well. I remember your friend making tons of gold by trying to crash Jewel Crafting Market on BFA launch because some guy kept buying everything to try to control the market. Oh, right. And they just kept feeding them stuff. He didn't farm since it accurately. Oh, right. Remember someone in your guild bought all the anchorweed on the auction house at launch. Thought they were mad. A month later, sold it all for 10 times the amount. That's amazing. I am on Shadow Song EU. Mother Beans, good evening to you. I am very well, thank you very much. How about yourself? Lovely to have you here. We're just going through the Wowhead blog at the moment, just talking about Super Squirt for those that are on NA. So if you're busy leveling your pets as we speak, good luck. I hope it works well for you. And then the final point for the blog, the second penultimate point for the blog was, as we talked about earlier and Jack put a link to, TSM is available with a code to be free for 30 days, and they've released a code that is on the blog. There we go. Jack's got the link there, straight to the TSM link. But there's a link here on the Wowhead blog as well. And basically, so what do you get with Trade Skill Master Premium? So basically, one of the key things is automated remote backups of all your TSM profiles, groups, and operations. So should your PC fall over, you can always restore it from the cloud. You get priority beta access. Version 4.1 is around the corner, so that should be very exciting to have a look at. The Great Deal search is directly in-game, so if you go into your TSM and you have a look here and you go into your shopping, the Great Deal search is available here, so you can see various stuff that is currently at a very cheap price relative to its market value. Vorkus, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. There's a few strange things here. Lunar Eclipse robes. That's interesting. That's Horde only. Braces of Swift Death. That's Northrend leatherworking. Pattern Royal Moonshroud braces. Oh, I've already got that one. It's always nice to look out for cheap recipes. Some of these things I wouldn't know what to do with, but it's quite interesting that you can certainly make a little bit of gold on these. As an extra tip about those backups. Oh, what's that, Darkwing? I believe buying 200 gold herb ores and crafting 50k armor on the launch week. What is the number between item name and eye level? This number, I would take a guess that it is the number available at the price, would be my first guess. Let's have a look. If I expand that out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 of those at that price. And Gorgon Flytrap E-Corp, there's 2 of those. So it's the number of it's not necessarily the number of items, it's the number of listings, because there's a quantity 14 there, and there's a quantity of 6 there. So it looks like it is the number of listings at different price points. But they're all still within there. I guess this is more of a case of saying that not all of these will be at the price point here at 6%. So only these ones are at 150, and then these go up to 399. What was that I missed? Let me just scroll a little bit further. I recently discovered my content, and it's wonderful, so thank you. Oh, you're more than welcome. It's lovely to have you. I feel like even though more people get herbalism, there's also a huge demand for herbs since the scribe trinkets market's crazy at the start, then demand increases for alchemy. Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Shadowlands and what's going to be more sort of in demand, certainly. That's why we have cloud backups on your folders. Yeah, that's another good idea, actually. From the website, you can manually save 20 of those synced backups as well, and they will stay available even after your 30 days expire, if you're correct. That way, you could always have a version of the groups if, worst case, your PC crashes. That's a good idea, actually. Just actually have a manual sort of like a pin, as it were, of, okay, this, I'd like to save my TSM in this state and leave it at that. That's a good idea. Up to 500 Dark Moon prize tickets with a monthly turn-in, items alone. You should do them every time it's up. That's something I'm going to have to look into, certainly, Dressing Rose. Buying and selling the replica gear. Yeah, the replica gear is not something I've looked into yet. That's definitely one for my huge list of ever-expanding things to look into. So yeah, we're talking about TSM Premium and the backups. The Great Deal search is being available, and then you can set TSM up to have like region-wide item notifications if there are certain things that you're looking for and want to get like that certain piece of transmog or something like that. And obviously you get the ad-free browsing and the Discord perks and stuff like that. So it's well worth considering, and if you do want to support the TSM team and signing up for longer, then I would highly recommend it. They put so much work and effort into TSM and making the majority of it free. I think it's well worth supporting them. Do from time to time, but posting the same items for 5 months isn't your cup of tea. You've got 3 left from your last 10 item buys in November. And the last thing I wanted to talk about on the Wowhead blog this week was a post on Reddit about this is something Dressing Rose has done recently, which is getting to 50 skill points in Alchemy, which is really handy if you've got a lot of alts and you're not sure what profession to put on them, is to basically just get their skill points up to 50 for the herbs to anchor transmute, and then on most servers it's still a profit to use those herbs, convert them into anchorweed and sell that for a reasonable profit. So this is a step-by-step process that goes through specifically what you need to do to get your alchemy up to 50. There's a few different variations on this method, so I highly recommend checking out the actual Reddit posts on this link here. You don't have enough alts for all the professions you want to put on. That's true, Rose. And you've got way more alts than a lot of people. Right, thank you very much for the follow. It's cheaper than buying a token, so supporting them is a great option. That was my exact sentiment, Jack, when I started signing up for TSM Premium. It was just when the 4 beta came out, and basically I just wanted to... through TSM I was able to make enough money for a token, and therefore I didn't theoretically have to pay for my WoW sub anymore. So I put that money I would have been spending into supporting TSM. I have enough alts for all of them. You've been doing this flip for a good time, good while. It's super nice. It is definitely worth doing on various characters that you've got spare, that have spare professions. So that's pretty much it for the Wowhead blog. I know I did a pretty much whistle-stop tour, rush through that. If you do have any questions, and please do shout them out in chat, or put a comment in the Wowhead blog itself. If there's more things you would like me to cover specifically, please do let me know, and I'll try my best to cover them all. You have a question? What's that, Jack? How much does a submarine cost? I wouldn't have the slightest idea, but I imagine it is quite a lot. So there we go. I'd also recommend engineering for the daily cooldown for the Sky Golem. If you have a lot of bolts, that's another good one, Will, definitely for the yards, isn't it? Any predictions of what will sell good now in the end phase of the expansion? I suspect anything where people are either leveling alts and equipped with all the buffs that are on at the moment, or things that people are probably turning their eye towards, like collecting things. So it could be something like pets, or it could be seeking out a certain amount of transmog or a certain recipe or something like that. So people, or maybe getting a certain achievement like the Waste of Time or the Shadowy Mask one, the Lucid Mount. So I think a lot of people, as well as those that are going to be looking to actually make gold and try and get the Brutasaur, so try and anticipate what the general player base is doing and try and then feed what they may require and be looking for on the auction house, or what kind of services you can offer. That would be my main prediction. I'm going to carry on with my professions because I've got my own personal goals of getting every profession leveled and ready for Shadowlands, which means I have to have an alt for every profession at maximum level. You sold the Firelord title for 5k. There's a good little niche, certainly. I know what will be a stable income. Yep, definitely. Okay, so that is the Wowhead blog. Let me have a think what I could possibly do for the last 45 minutes. So we restocked on everyone. We didn't get a proc on Silas, so let's... where shall I head? Let's go Dalaran, I think, with Samadan. And then we'll move over to Awakening, and we'll have a look there, what we can do. They could probably go up in the start of Shadowlands. It's a good idea, Darkwing, because obviously people like to be able to herb as quickly as possible. The problem with Sky Golems is it's one per account, really. Once someone's bought it, they don't really need to buy it again, which is a bit of a shame. Let's collect up our purchases. We've got our sale of the flying carpet then. So we'll leave Samadan here. I don't think I need to do anything for you for the moment. Let's log out and then let's pop over to Awakening and see if we can get ourselves a Silas Pro. Who are we going to use for dual crafting? I've heard it's going to be good. I've been thinking of using Bridget, my dwarf, for engineering and dual crafting, although I have initially got it on Feng Shui, my monk. So I'm not sure exactly. Since people can't fly but need to herb, yeah. Goal for tomorrow, get more softpaw, dark softpaw and little softpaw to the garrison tomorrow. Nice plan, Rose, definitely. That's true, but folks are always either coming back to the game or starting. This is true, definitely. Bad typer, that. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so we've got no sales here yet, so let's see if we can get a proc. Is our first one. No, we've gone for transportation this time, so our bad luck string continues. But what we will do is run a cancel scan on the stuff we do have on. So let's deselect what we have here and just look at the Silas rank 3 stuff and run a cancel scan on that. Some of these I will have been undercut on. We probably also need to have a look at our enchants as well on Samadan, and possibly our inscription. We'll do a quick cancel scan on those. Take those cancels. Take all that lot off. I use sell programs, lots of them. Column buyers are bots, gold sellers replacing accounts at the start of the expansion. Oh, that's an interesting take on it, Farmer Tree, actually. I hadn't thought of that. Have alchemy on all your characters for the daily transmute. You need to decide when to drop them and get the proper professions on them. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually. is think about when the profit is getting a bit too thin for continuing, and how quickly the anchor weed sells as well. Daily transmute is proper. Make the transmute masters and craft your buff gems, living steel. Exactly. I think that's good to have, certainly on one character. You've got so many auras and nothing to do with them. I'm sorry, Megan. I don't have any other sort of like high tier ones. I was going to show do like a redeem Oreos for Oreo on stream, but I don't think it would be fair on him if I picked him up off the bed. He looks so comfortable. And he's not the sort of cat that would jump up on the desk either to say hello. That's more in Cookie's territory. So I feel like I need to think of another sort of redemption code for the Oreos. I'd certainly, I mean, I know a lot of people do maybe song requests and things like that, but I don't have regular music playing. So we've got a lot of, we're undercutting the competition on here, so that's a good sign, hopefully. Leading me to go back to work at the office so I can but there's the flip side to that, Darkwing, would be that I would probably end up streaming less often as well. It'll be just down to once a week. What are the auctioning operations I use for BFA Alchemy? It's I got a video series on the ones I set up for Alchemy, but the operations simply for selling the Silas stuff is operations wise. Auctioning, it's this one that I literally just post them up. I have it at 48 hours, but I've got a feeling I could probably do with changing that to 12 or 24. My post cap is 50, undercut is 0, and my minimum price is 100% crafting divided by, I did shift this down a little bit earlier just to try and squeeze my profit margins. Normally that would be 110% crafting times 1.7 is what I normally have that as my minimum price. But as my potions weren't selling, I changed that very slightly just to try and squeeze my margins a little bit more. You sold 5 glyphs of the Sentinel since watching the stream. So many druids leveling. That's fantastic. Glyphs I really need to get into with Samadan, certainly. I haven't made a decision on adding a creative session on one of my stream days. I had been thinking about that, Commander Bond. Maybe one of the Tuesdays or Thursdays coming up soon. I'll do a 3D stream, and I was thinking maybe working more on the planet that I have, and maybe go through and sort of like flesh that out a little bit more. Wild Boy, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Doesn't miss the London traffic. No, that is very true. Although I do miss walking through all my Pokemon stops. That is one thing I certainly miss. So that's my operation. I hope that's useful. But if you go to my YouTube channel, I've got a whole getting started in Alchemy series that is that goes through my entire setup for that. So did I do the post scan? There's a couple more things there that probably have been undercut on. So I'll just drop those on. They're now below minimum price, so I'll post those on. Have to send me art station one day. Absolutely, Edward, I'd love to see that. Glyphs are one of your gold mines, especially Legion ones. You can farm mats super fast in Dark Heart Thicket. Yeah, it's definitely something that I need to look into as my next niche, as it were, certainly. The sooner it gets into traffic like normal, world returns sort of normal. I know it's going to be very strange, as Will says. Shush. It's a strange one, being able to balance everything. Certainly, I mean, I certainly would prefer to be working from home and continuing like this. Certainly, the downside is that with my current setup at the moment, I can't sort of stream and have Oreo downstairs. I'd have to have a second Mr. Potato computer downstairs so I could stream either upstairs or downstairs. That might work. Not sure how much gold to save for each mount. I've never heard of those mounts, Binaro. It's all good, exactly. When will UK lift the lockdown? We don't know yet. I was talking with my wife about this. We are actually, for us, the type of people we are actually enjoying a large part of the lockdown in terms of like very much focused on our family and staying, as a unit. When I went out the other day, it just seemed like there was just too many people around. When I did my weekly shop. You've seen the Firehawk before. It just goes for like 1.5 to 2 million from what you've seen. Wow. I set you all up in Florida. That's very kind of you, Kami-sama. Let me just carry on through my cancelling here. I'll just jump over onto Samadan and we'll do another bit here. Just doing a couple of cancel scans here at the moment. The weekly shop is a nightmare. So glad we can get deliveries now. I haven't had much luck with the deliveries. We get our vegetables and eggs delivered, but I tend to do one big weekly shop, just try and stock up on all the other bits and pieces. Feeding a family of 4 is never ending. Okay, so we'll take this and we'll do that. Lots of companies realise that working from home might be better, like 1 day a week even. People tend to spend less time in traffic and get worn out and less focus on work. Yeah, I think it's a very valid point, certainly, and I think it's brought it home that a lot of companies that said it was never possible have actually found it to be possible. I mean, it'd be great if if a company like Blizzard can release an expansion and everyone's working from home. I think that's a great testament to how it can work in an industry like this. Not all the shops are open, certainly. Most of them are still closed. Certainly the pubs and everything like that are closed. Only the essential shops really are open. Some of the DIY stores are starting to open up a little bit more now. The thicket means mobs in front of the dungeons. Don't want to invest and still have the old-fashioned way of thinking. Yeah, certainly, Jack. It does seem to be the way. It's not always possible because employees work with sensitive data, and at home there's a higher risk of exposing private data, especially considering GDPR. There is that, but then I think a lot of companies aren't as secure as they think they are. Certainly. Do I make profiles specific to each character? You have like 10 120s in the different realms, and it seems tedious. I have a separate profile for each character simply because it makes more sense to me, and it keeps my individual groups and everything set up for them, because I tend to want to do different things with the same materials depending on the character. Is there a way for you to send your ArtStation to me without posting in chat? Privacy. If you follow me on Twitter, same name here, or on my Discord, either of those, you can have you can directly message me through that. That's the easiest way, I would say. Best gold making stream all of Twitch, which you always get late. Lovely to have you, Tingy Rock. And thank you for your kind words. At 10k uncanny item on your server, the highest price uncanny is 1.5k. Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that this will sell. We've sold one for about 6k. Was the last thing I've sold. So hopefully, Go Sierra. Good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. And Catalyst 7. Good evening to you. You have your data backed up by FBI, NSA, Interpol, and all the other spies with spyware. Almost 2k herving outside and in front of Dungeons an hour. That's a decent amount. 2 uncanny items going for 1.5k, the rest for 400 to 500 gold. Wow, that's quite a bit cheaper, isn't it? Certainly. Depends on the situation. You work with very private data. Being able to monitor employees at work is much easier than just trusting them. Interesting. Your son is starting his gold making journey a couple of days back. Oh, excellent. Has his character at 54 and already have made 253 from scratch. Oh, fantastic. That's a good start. I'm doing the same with my wife at the moment. We're leveling characters through. I'm 50 54, I think, and she's about 54. I'm about 51, I believe, at the moment. She's almost at a 1,000 gold, my wife already. She's doing amazingly well. Killed Mythic Zanesh today. Oh, congratulations. That's pretty cool. Absolutely scary. We've had jobs where I could only access the databases in the office. I know, it's strange. I mean, how people sort of like handle sensitive data, really, isn't it? It all obviously depends on your job as well, and what kind of security data you're dealing with. So I guess you really need to bear that in mind as well. So the last thing I can think of on a resetting point of view is I'm going to jump over to Samadan and just relist my enchants, just in case anyone's finished their raids and they would like some nice enchants. I'm hoping mine is the one to go to. You leveled up Alchemy to 300 vanilla Alchemy to get the Potion Master upgrade, and it costs us 7,000 gold, so there's a definite gold in leveling herbs. Yeah, having the gold just for the leveling herbs is certainly worth doing. Am I making any gold with leatherworking? Just did 1 hour farming leather, but don't know if you should sell it or use it to craft items yourself. I am selling mainly the uncanny gear with my leatherworker, although I don't have a lot of the old world recipes, and I haven't tried those markets out yet, so I couldn't say how well they work. I have come to the gathering of gold makers. Welcome, Derplicious. Lovely to have you here. Am I making any... I've done that one, sorry. As a 3D artist, I got my any insight into on the ray tracing options seen in Alpha. It's going to be very interesting. I'm not sure how much they're going to do. I mean, obviously we have a decent amount of sort of atmospheric shadow casting going on here at the moment. Obviously, it's the light sources here. If you look around, there's nothing too specific other than the main light source. You can see you got the shadow coming here that's being cast over kind of by the moon at the moment. Whether that's going to give you a great deal, I mean, you're getting a decent amount of you're getting the shadows cast that way. It's whether they add a great deal into sort of, they're going to have to do a lot more really, in terms of like the glass refractions and things like that. That's where you're going to see the most differences, I think. If you can, I mean, there's going to be a lot of work you're going to need to do on the textures, like looking through this and seeing the refractions through on the other side. That are going to be interesting. But it's kind of like the look and feel of WoW. I'm not sure how much ray tracing would actually make it better, because you still got to think about the kind of like the overall look, and just turning on a feature isn't necessarily going to be the right option. But what I think they will get is more tools to their arsenal to make it look truly beautiful, and add maybe a bit more depth and haze and things, and glows and blooms, and maybe a few things like that that will like this light being cast here, and being able to highlight all of these different bits and pieces, and then highlight your character a bit more accurately, might help a little bit with the immersion. But I went off on one there, certainly. What did I miss out, chat? Hold on. I missed everything there. You sent it on Discord. Oh, okay, excellent, fantastic. Gamepad support in Shadowlands for the people who would enjoy that. That's definitely a good idea for sort of like a casual player, certainly, or someone who wants to just sit comfortably on their sofa. That would definitely be worth doing. Fox Coyote Wolf, thank you for the follow. Hope you're doing well. And Sylvesters, thank you also for the follow. I missed yours earlier. What else have we got? Johnny Depth, glad I got to catch some of the live video. Can't play WoW anymore without watching one of my YouTube videos on your second one, so love the content. Oh, that's very kind of you to say so. I'm glad I'm helping feed your WoW on the second screen, certainly. Minecraft pulled it off. They did. Minecraft did a really nice job on it. I loved what they did with the coloured lighting that they had there. Certainly, some of the stuff on there has been really, really nice. This is your first Super Squirt you've participated in. Almost feels like cheating with how fast they level. I hear it's very, very fast. Certainly, I'm not sure why Lord Adder's here. Is this something I should be involved in? I'm not sure. Trying your luck with uncanny leatherworking. Got late to the party, probably. Let's see. Well, I've just literally started in blacksmithing, so it's never too late. There's always options to make. You're only as late as the moment you just start, really. So in terms of what I need to do next on my characters, there's not a great deal in terms of, other than maybe doing world quests and things like that, that I particularly want to do on my main characters. I've gone through and I've reset everything. I could do something like horrific visions or things like that, but I don't think that's really necessary at this stage. What I think I might do is thinking about leveling some of my characters that haven't got professions fully yet. So looking at some of my earlier characters. So we've got all my 120s here. So we've got Samadan, who has cooking, fishing, enchanting and tailoring. Awakening has the alchemy and herbalism. Samadan has inscription and herbalism, so we do double up on herbalism here, but I've got a feeling I'm going to need to keep herbalism on this character so that when I want to do the glyph market and things like that, I definitely want to carry on there. Gives me about 15 years, it's never too late, exactly. Urfan, who is my leather worker and skinner, who's definitely pretty much self-contained. El Morty is my new 120, who has the blacksmithing and mining. Doing glyph groups is so easy with the Wowhead database. That sounds interesting. I haven't thought about that. Oh, actually, making the groups from the Wowhead database and then copying them in. Yes, that's a good idea. Nadamas, I'm not really doing a lot with in terms of classes. I mean, we could look at the. I did have dual crafting on this character. I have been doing the vendor shuffle, but I'm wondering whether this would be a good candidate for the alchemy level 50 daily cooldown. If I add that into it. What staff is this one? I have no idea. It's transmogged one of them. Let's go in and have a look. I'll find out. Where is my warrior and paladin? Now that is something I would like to do actually, is I would like a dark iron dwarf paladin, definitely. So engineering, what have we got? There's a new power. Void warped Oshugun staff is what that's what that is at the moment. So does anyone have a link to the vendor spreadsheets you keep hearing out? Which vendor spreadsheet is that? I haven't heard of that one myself. Do I focus mainly on BFA crafts or everything, or have all the professions and crafting everything tends to be a bit much? It does. I'm currently focusing mainly on BFA, except for those professions where I've already fleshed them out a bit deeper, like enchanting and tailoring. I've worked a little bit deeper. Things like inscription and alchemy at the moment, I'm just focusing on the BFA content. Eventually I would like to go deeper and do all expansions. So that is definitely your dark iron is a blacksmith, goes really well with a racial. Yeah, I think blacksmithing would be a good call for that. I don't know what professions I would give them. I'm thinking the other character I'm thinking of doing is going over here. So Bridget, my hunter, currently level 51. I was thinking of making her my engineer. And possibly doing dual crafting with it. So dual crafting and engineering seems like a nice pair. Feng Shu, my monk that I'm currently leveling with my wife, is has currently got dual crafting, but I might make them mainly maybe a gathering character whilst I'm leveling up, and decide what I do profession wise with them once I've got them fully up there. Then I've also got Hellfire, my warlock, that I've barely played, level 23. So I've got more than enough characters here to think about for professions moving forward. The main thing here is, though, I need to think about getting another 120 for at least 2 more professions, and that's jewel crafting and engineering. And I think this is probably one of my better candidates as one of them. I could boost them up with gold. I have a reasonable amount on Samadan, but with the leveling buff at the moment, it's actually just so much fun to level up the characters as it is anyway. The hunter is definitely chill. It's so easy to level up with the hunter. I'm literally just sending my wolf pet in, and they're doing so well. So there's a lot of options here. Certainly, I think with the time I've got left, let's have a look at Nadamas and what we did on the Wowhead blog in terms of getting alchemy up to 50. Level a Death Knight to 70 on Azuna, and then do the a Demon Hunter. That's another idea. Although I do have a Death Knight and a Demon Hunter, I would like to try lots of different classes out as well. You leveled your hunter with a controller. That's a nice idea, definitely. We're going to be doing so much leveling soon. Just need to unlock the rest of the new races with your horde. Can't wait. You love leveling. Yeah, it is a great idea, especially with the buffs that are on at the moment. Certainly. You have a new alt with dual crafting and engineering. Do it with the gnome and you get the racial bonus. That's true, actually, you do have the racial bonuses with those. Although, that said, the hunter and the dwarf I find more appealing as a combination. Level 10 to 50 on alpha, it was 10 hours or something. Yeah, I did see part of his stream when he did that. That did seem to be fairly doable. Right, so in terms of where I'm at here on professions, we did have jewel crafting, so I'm thinking I could possibly drop jewel crafting and pick alchemy and do the daily transmute on this character and simply just sell them, because it's a horde character. I don't have access to anything else. I have a little bit of gold on me at the moment, 16,000. I'm doing the vendor shuffle as it is. About time they reworked the leveling phase. Yeah, it would definitely be worth it. TG Sid, thank you very much for the follow. 120 levels is a lot. Yeah, I'm glad they've squished it. So the profession people, let me just guess where this is. If I remember rightly, where are we facing? Where's the pyramid? It's up that way. So I think it's over to the right here. We could probably ask a guard, but I'm thinking it's up here and to the right on the right hand side. Gloom Dust at 12 gold in your realm. It's shuffle time. That's very expensive. At the Expulsum World Quest. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, it's all the way over here, is it? And supplies needed. Times per end. Is that where the profession trainers are? Right. Okay. Let's head on over that way then. I'm guessing that's up here somewhere. Don't need quests on at the moment. Let's just clear that out. Terrace of Crafters. There we go. That would make sense, wouldn't it? So let's have a look. I'm assuming it's lower down, isn't it? It's down here. This looks more craftery like. We've got mining trainer. We have a smith here. Right, okay, so if I was going to look, books and flasks, so your inscription, so I'd expect alchemy to be around here. Let's use the visual clues here. Your engineering tucked away as a goblin. So I would expect, if your inscription, alchemy to be around here somewhere else. There you are, you're up the bottom, up the top. So it makes common sense having them close to each other. There we go. Doing any shopping scan each day or just random? I don't tend to do a great deal actually. I'm going to do alchemy here, so we're going to see if we can get ourselves up to. We'll use the guide from the Wowhead blog and see what we can get. Let me just sort that out, and I'll follow the post here and see what I can buy and get myself up to level 50. So here we go. Let's just scroll down to the bottom of the Wowhead article. So we need 75 Riverbud and 75 Sirens pollen. There we go. Strong profits, so powerful. Definitely. Right, so easy way to do this. Riverbud and Sirens pollen would be the first question. Shopping wise, Riverbud. So we need 75 of that. So let's buy that. And then Sirens pollen. Just that one, 8.95. And we'll buy 75 of that. So let's try this out. There we go. So he's been selling the Garrison auction house parts quite well. That's good profit levels. I'd forgotten about those. Where's someone else? Oh, there we go. It's not often that I get to play a Horde character, so it's nice to be able to interact with those that are on the Horde side. So let's look for a mailbox, which is conveniently right next to me. So this is a good start. So we'll take those, and then we'll go to my profession. We'll remove dual crafting, as we haven't really bothered with this too much. We'll take that, and we'll move over to Alchemy. We'll train in Alchemy, please. So I have Alchemy, Zanzilari Alchemy really, but we need that one first. So we'll take that, and then we'll take that at 47. Learn BFA Alchemy, 47 gold. Then we need to learn, and this includes ranks 1, both Coastal Healing and Coastal Mana Potions. Make 25 Coastal Healing Potions. So let's go over here, Spellbook and Abilities, Professions, Alchemy, let's add this on. So we'll go here, so Coastal Healing Potions, we need Crystal Vials, so we'll probably need a few of those. Probably need, let's think, how many will we need? Probably a good few. Let's take 200 to start off with, just so that we have a few of them ready. There we go. The mana potions sell better when you're done. As a backup plan, all your alts have the Garrison Auction House facility for the Talon Priest follower unlocked in the mailbox if you want to the auction house. That's a good idea, actually. What else did I miss? I had to play Alliance to open up the last trainer for a pet achievement. Felt so dirty. They're all drops. Oh, okay, for the people who stopped farming the mount, probably, I imagine. What else do we miss? Let me just scroll up. Lots of people return to the game and feel the long boys unreachable, so can afford the parts in the garrison. Yeah, this is a good alternative, certainly. Right, okay. Still have to have the Rootasaur. It is worth it. I can certainly testament to that. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's go to my alchemy. So we'll make 25 coastal healing potions. So according to this, we'll create all of those. Make 25. I haven't got Coltiran crafting on me at this stage. Probably not worth it just yet. Not Coltiran crafting, Zandalari crafting it will be, won't it? Forget about that. So we want to get our skill level up to 50. So 25 coastal healing and then 25 coastal mana potions. And then your alchemy should be now at about 37 to 40-ish after this. Although I've got a feeling having the crafting enchant on my gloves would be useful at this stage, looking at it. Although if you're doing only one daily cooldown, it's probably worth it at this stage. Then coastal mana potions are now yellow, so if we make all 25 of these, Need to try, but also need to know if it's worth it. Guess I'll just give it a test run. Are you talking about the Alchemy transmute? Or them? Oh no. Have I tried selling hardened springs? What's my opinion about that? Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that one. I don't know about hardened springs. It's not a market I'm familiar with. I would, as you suggested, just give it a try. Give it a test run. Is the best I can recommend. Like you said, unless anyone else in chat does have any recommendations for hardened springs. Did I drop to 240p? According to my... I'm okay at the moment, according to my OBS at the moment. Yes, I can look for new recipes at the moment, but I'm literally just following the guide from the Wowhead blog from earlier. Now I need to learn rank 1 coastal rejuvenation and rank 2 coastal rejuvenation. So we'll go here, coastal rejuvenation, we'll train that, and then coastal rejuvenation rank 2, I'm assuming it's that one, yeah, and then with that we're going to make, well, we could make all of these, create 10, or you can do all 25 coastal rejuvenation potions. So let's just create 10, get ourselves up to 50. We can actually probably just do 9 of these, but let's start with 10. It could be the Twitch app. I think there's been a few glitches tonight, so that could be a reason, certainly. What did I miss further? Don't forget to check transfusion. Yeah, so we're literally just doing that. What did I miss earlier from you guys, Sierra? Use Garrison Commander. It's an all-in-one solution. You can send your followers automatically on missions. Oh, that's pretty good. Sorry, just scrolling up on chat. So we've got ourselves up to Zandalari Alchemy level 51. So we should be able to then learn Transmute Bag of Anchors for 33 gold. And there we are. We're there already in terms of that. So we have our level 50 alchemy. Very, very quick to do. Need to start streaming now when Samadan ends. Yeah, definitely. Back to back with awesome streams. That's a good idea. I'll throw a host on over if I can, depending on which other gold makers are on. Let's move over. Burnerman 54, thank you for the follow. Hope you're doing well. So... finally broke your gold record at highest gold you ever had at all time, sitting now at 280,000, starting with 40k a couple of weeks ago. Oh, that's a really good start. I'm glad you're finding your feet on your... Is this on your new server, Blazing Nemesis? I'm glad you're finding your feet on it and making some gold. Congratulations. Leonidas, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're also doing well. No problem, Step. I know I'll catch you another time, certainly. So that, from that point of view, that was a good start. But we need to set up alchemy in terms of, like, we need to buy some herbs and things like that. Looking at my TSM at the moment, I don't have anything set up at all. So what we'll need is a group for buy herbs, buy BFA herbs. And then I'll need to add in all the BFA herbs. The quickest and easiest way I can think of doing this at the moment will be to go to the Undermine journal. If I go here and I go to herbalism, and then we've got all the various herbs here. If I click on the TSM button, that gives me all the list of all the different herbs. And if I copy that, and then I'll go over to here to import buy BFA herbs, paste that straight in and import all of that, and then that should give me at least all of these, confirm that, and then I'll probably make a shopping operation for this. So we'll go here, we'll go group operations, we'll make a shopping operation. We'll create a new operation and we will call this one average buy, and then we'll do the first average buy, then DB market if I don't have an average buy, and we'll close that off like that. Show auctions above max price, we'll keep that. So we'll then take that, we'll have a look here, buy BFA herbs, run a shopping scan. Now we need to find, we don't want Xenonthid at this stage, and we don't want Anchorweed itself. That's going to be a separate one. So we need to look at the price of Anchorweed, and we're going to be getting 10 of those. So we need to look at all our various herbs we've got here. We need, for the transmute, we need 5 of each, I believe. Transmute herbs to anchors. We'll make that a favourite. Set that as a favourite, so it's at the top. So we need, 5 of each of the different ones there. So maybe I'll just take off those, and I'll need to buy, maybe I can set up a maximum quantity of each of these. We'll do a shopping operation for these. I'm running fast out of time for this, so I'll probably, what I'll do at this point is I'll set this up next stream if you remind me. But I want to pretty much buy, let's say 100 of each. Would keep me going for a long while, so I'll buy 100 of those. I'll buy 100 of those, no matter what the price is. 100 of those. Riverbird, I'll buy 100. Siren's pollen, 100, and then star moss, 100. So that's just like a quick buy really. And then if I pick all those up from the mailbox that is just here, all those purchases, keep those in my bags, and then I should be able to do non-X. Thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Sorry, I'm just missing out on everyone here because I'm just literally looking at this from a brain dump point of view. So transmute herbs to anchors, I can at least do that. I've got 5 of everything, so I can at least create those. There we go. Doesn't work for you. Is there any other way to disenchant the blue so it's easier? I still use TSM Destroy for myself. It can be a bit tricky sometimes to use. And then, but it does work, or you can set up a macro. So Anchorweed, now we have 10 of those. So interestingly, look at that, min buyout tells me 25 gold. So I need to just keep an eye on that price really, compared to the crafting cost when I've used TSM here. Transmute herbs to anchors. We'll look at that, and then we'll switch back to this one. We don't have a crafting cost here. Hold on, why isn't that? Cooldown resets daily. Crafting cost is 212 gold. There we go. And so the price of Anchorweed shouldn't really go beyond 1/10 of the crafting cost of my Anchorweeds if I was to post those on. Destroy fails with other auto-loot add-ons. It certainly does. So then we need to neaten this up a little bit more because I haven't quite got everything set up. I'll do this last bit manually as I know I'm running out of time. But then I would want to sell my Anchorweed, not for 25 but definitely for 59. So we're just going to manually post that on at that price. It's only 4 silver for 48 hour, but I expect it's going to sell quicker, so I'm going to stick it with that and I'll post that on. So hopefully we can start making some decent money on that. That needs a little bit of working through to make that a little bit more streamlined. I need to make a separate group for Anchorweed. I need to make maybe a custom price source for Anchorweed so I can keep the price, or I'll put it in my posting operation for Anchorweed to not go below 1/10 of the crafting cost. Will be my way of sorting that one out. But that was a quick and easy way of just getting myself another gold making avenue on a character that I don't use a lot. Don't post high pop items for 24 hours, a waste of gold. Stay with 12 hours. Yeah, I would say for high pop, yeah, keep it low certainly. I've got to farm the Sky Golem recipe on 3 of your tunes yesterday. Think it can turn out to be a nice profit once Shadowlands rise. That's a good idea, actually. We were talking about that with the Sky Golems. It's also suitable for a shopping unit. Any hint on what it could do? Software and Hammer project for your blacksmith. Oh, interesting. I use a macro that closes TSM Destroy and then opens it again, and then disenchants the next. So even if it was going to bug out, it doesn't mess you up. I use something similar. I use a macro to open it and close it, Control X, and that's the same, keeping Control held for my scroll wheel, and that seems to work for me. Right, and with that, I've completely run out of time. So it's going to be time for the end of the stream. I want to say big, obviously massive thank you to everyone who's hung out in chat. Really appreciated your company tonight. All those who have come through from Wowhead. It's lovely to have your company, certainly. Apologies if I missed anything in chat. It's gone through very fast tonight. Let's see if we can find someone. Oh, let's move that over here. There we go. That's easier. See if we can find someone to throw a host on a raid on over to. Oh, thank you, Scotty MT and Hydro of Terror for the follows. That's very kind of you. I am literally just finishing now. Whoops, I just selected everything. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, now I can't click on anything. There we go. Show more. Who is on that we can throw? So we've done, yeah, Alnota and Lazy are both on. Trying to decide who. We've got Tomcat on as well. And we also have a number of different people actually on. I will actually probably go for, I'll say Canadian TV is on as well. I don't often get a chance to throw them a raid, so I'm going to go for, we did Lazy Goldmaker last time, and I've done Alnota quite a few times, so I'm going to go with someone who I don't do very often, and that's Canadian TV, who is doing looks like a 24-hour Silithus gold farm stream. So I'll send some love over their way. If he doesn't get T-Boos, he'll shave his head. Right, so /raid. Canadian TV. Okay, there we go. Past the Lazy, that's better. Okay, well I'll stick with Canadian, but obviously if you feel like you want to go to another streamer, by all means do so. Until next time, my next stream will be on Tuesday, so hopefully see you then. Until next time, happy gold making. It's been a pleasure having you as always, and I will send a raid over to Canadian. Lazy is going to stop in a few minutes, is he? Alright, okay. Well, I'll send one over to Canadian then. Good night all, see you Tuesday. Set the raid up.